that they, despite not being paid for the great wages that they wages on the plantation, and built up the cities of Europe, the cities of Liverpool, the cities of Bristol, all those cities in England that we the black people built up, and we get no reward for it. No name, no title, no nothing we get for it. But nevertheless, we now would hail our mothers and fathers, our great mothers and fathers. We hail them. We hail the brothers Paul Vogel, who in 1865 led a great struggle out in Morant Bay. And when people talk about the history is old, we must move past it and move on. We remind those people that until this day, the Bogle family is being ostracized. The Bogle family is being victimized. The Bogle family is discriminated against. Once you name Bogle in St. Thomas, you come under fight, brothers and sisters. So when people talk about its past, you must remember now and remember the future. So we hail not only Paul Bogle, we hail the Bogle family. Remember the brothers, all those brothers who stood up. Great family. We hail them, and we stand before you, and we will continue this struggle. Those mothers who came across, all those mothers who came across and discovered the herbs, discovered the bush, which bush was good for what? All those great mothers, which saved our race, brothers and sisters. Because when the many brothers and sisters landed on the shores in the Caribbean, in the Americas and so on, many of our brothers and sisters died because the food was not palatable. It was not conducive to their body. Many brothers and sisters died. And it was our great mothers that checked out the bush, that went into the bush and find the right bush that could heal us, that could make tea for us, that could make beverages for us. Because the meal that the system was giving us was causing great harm. Causing great harm then, and it is causing great harm now, as their type of meals with a whole heap of salt and a whole heap of things, sugar and so on. That is now, this day, we're seeing the result of that in the hypertension, in the low potential, in the diabetes. All these things we inherited from that time. That is carried over to this time. So we hail our great mothers and fathers. We hail our great mothers and fathers. Want to hail a brother, Ikael Tafari, a brethren who has done outstanding work of bringing the culture to Barbados to open their eyes. We hail a brother, Ikael Tafari. We hail him and we honor him. We hail up Nyankopon, the leader of the people in Ghana. We hail him and we will always remember him. So we hail all those outstanding that if we did not have doctors, our own doctors, more of us would have died. But you had brothers and sisters who, whether trained in doctoring and nursing or not trained, but they took it upon themselves. They were called healer man and healer woman, and they healed many of us. Some they healed with the drums. They beat the drum to certain rhythms and chase away the evil spirit and give our ancestors strength for them to survive. We heal and honor them and we remember them. Those who built the great churches, those who brought civilization to this part of the world, those who rise up that civilization and build cities in West Africa, in East Africa, in Central Africa, the great stones of Zimbabwe that built the cities in Zimbabwe out of stones. We hail and honor them and respect them. The great people that built the great civilization in Songhai, in Mali, in Ghana, in Ethiopia. We hail those brothers and sisters who built the pyramids, not just of Egypt, but they built the great pyramids in Sudan. Pyramids which are now being destroyed because of the war in Sudan. We remember them. Then the great civilization, which they used to call where the Nile starts, the Blue Nile starts in Ethiopia. They would say that there's a mountain where the moon is. And the civilization which came down the Nile from the highlands of Ethiopia and from the White Nile which started in Burundi and which joined forces in Ethiopia and came down, and that Nile brought civilization to the rest of Africa. Coming down, we heal and honor those people that brought such great civilizations to us that were unknown in Italy, unknown in Greece, unknown in Spain, unknown in England, until we trod there and brought the civilization to them. We hail and honor our ancestors. We hail and honor them, and we remember them. We will always remember them. Ivan van Sertima, the great brother from Guyana, who wrote the book They Came Before Columbus, that showed us the greatness of the African people that were here before Columbus. For example, the Olmec people of Mexico. Those people built a lasting civilization, which those statues exist even today. Those pyramids in Mexico exist even today. You have the Step Pyramid, to whom they would honor their god. The Africans were there in Mexico. The Aztec culture, the great culture of the Incas of Peru, those great people that lined up and went into the mountains and hail our God. Those people, we remember them. Civilization that was destroyed by the Spanish conquistadors, destroyed in Mexico, destroyed in Peru, destroyed in Chile, destroyed in Jamaica, the Spaniards, destroyed in Cuba. Great destruction they carried out in forcing our people to acknowledge them and to name their and to praise their God. But our people resisted. The fire that burned, our people resisted. So we hail our ancestors. Grant, O Great Spirit, though we travel through the ghettos, we travel through the mountains, we travel through wind, we travel through rain, we travel through hunger, desperation. But grant, O Great Spirit, that we'll forever walk with our dignity. We'll carry ourselves with our dignity. And we will extol the greatness of our race, the greatness of our people, the greatness of our people that built a civilization long before you came out of your cave. You can't lead us. You can't. You have to learn from us. When we invented paper from the reeds of the Nile, of the river Nile, the reeds that grow along the sides of the river. We took those reeds and made them into paper. We took the feather from the birds. We took the ink from the berries. And we created writing. A writing that we have written in scrolls that has been handed down even unto this day. My brothers and sisters, let not people fool us and tell us that we don't love to read a book, and if you want to hide something from the people, you put it in a book. No, we were the ones who put it in book. We were the ones that were writing. We were the ones. And when they burnt many of our libraries, when those that came from Greece, those that came from Italy, barbarians, they burnt many of our libraries. But they couldn't burn the writings, the hieroglyphics on the walls of the pyramid. That's where we wrote many things. On the walls of the pyramid. The hieroglyphics. The pyramids in Egypt show those writings. The pyramids in Sudan show those writings. So brothers and sisters, be proud. Beat the drum on your chest. Because what you have done, no other race has been able to come near to that. No other race. So though they tried to destroy and build weapons of great destruction, weapons of mass destruction, that is all they have built. Weapons out to drop on people and kill 100 people, kill 200, kill thousands at a time, as we see they are now displaying in Gaza and Ukraine. Look at the massive weaponry that they have built. In Ukraine, white against white. Look at the massive weaponry that they keep building for each other. Wow. Look at what the destruction is taking place in Gaza. Wow. But brothers and sisters, we will be strong. And although they manufacture great divisions in Africa, we see fighting going on in the Congo almost daily, Democratic Republic of the Congo. And those fighting is being carried out by persons not from the Congo, persons from Rwanda, persons from Uganda, certain persons from Burundi that envy the Congo, that go over into the Congo to steal the wealth of the Congo and then murder the people in eastern Congo. Come on, brothers and sisters. We stand strong. We're an African race, African pride, African dignity. So we thank our great mothers that when they came and used us on the plantation, they were hoping that so much of us would have died out that you eliminated. You start by eliminating those that were brought across. But no, we survived. We survived the factories that they would store us in Africa. We survived that. And then we survived the middle passages on board the ship in the most horrible and inhuman conditions. Many of us survived that. And then we survived the plantations over here, the brutal plantations, where you get up from 4 o'clock in the morning and work until 10 at night. That was what they used to do us. And those unpaid wages. We are going to claim that, brothers and sisters. We're going to claim it. We're going to claim it, and we must get it. And we're not going to beg for it. We're going to demand it. Because we have already worked, and it has been documented. Great work. From we were 5 years old, they would wake up for children to do the weeding amongst the cane, the weeding amongst the tobacco. That's what they would do. 5 years old, we were out in the field working. at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning. That's what they used to do us. And we survive. But we survive now not to forgive and forget. No. We'll forgive, but we won't forget. We'll never forget. And even though they don't teach history in our schools, most of our schools don't teach history. How can that be with a black race? How can we make white and foreign races dictate our curriculum? But the Ministry of Education don't see the great fault in not teaching history to our black children. But we rise up and we'll find ways and means to impart that great knowledge. When Mansa Musa went from Mali to the kingdom in Saudi Arabia, all along the way, he gave away gold. He gave away gold, going and coming, because he had so much gold. So we have the precious metals that is now being used. We hail our brothers and sisters, those who have carried out certain deliberate acts in Mali, in Niger, in Burkina Faso. Yes, those brothers who followed the spirit of Thomas Sankara, the great general that was assassinated. But little did they know his ideology could not be assassinated. His ideology rise up in these soldiers now, and they're carrying out the spirit of Thomas Sankara and carrying out acts which bringing gains, justice, peace to their people. We welcome them. And we say, if needs be, carry out more coups in Africa. Get rid of the old colonial thinkers, those who were schooled in London, in New York, in Paris. Get rid of them, because they come back with the same Bakramasa idea and the same house slave mentality. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. And put in place. If people don't have experience, they will gain experience. They will gain experience. If a man wants to sit under a tree and laze around, let him be. He's an African. He's in Africa. So let us turn the tide of Africa. Let us build Africa to the point where we don't have to go on any boat and sail to any other country. No. No. It is that leadership that made it so desperate. Our people. We see where over 80 died from Yemen the other day. They were crossing over from Yemen into Saudi Arabia. Over 80 died when the boat capsized of our people. Many were Ethiopians. Yes, we see where so many Senegalese died. Sailing on boats, trying to reach Italy. We see where many of our people go over into Libya, go over into Tunisia, and try to sail from there over to Germany and Italy, and so on. We want to build Africa so that no one sail from Africa. No one. But you keep our people desperate. You keep our people wanting. And you keep promoting leaders that are traitor to Africa but loyal to you. Leaders who buy Swiss chalet in Europe, in France, because that's where they want to retire to. That's their goal. Many of them siphon off the people's money and put it in the banks in Europe, not realizing that when they strengthen the bank, they are demeaning us. They are taking from us and strengthening Europe. Already Europe stole so much and have our money in the bank and refuse to give it to us. And we now in turn is buying and trading and carrying out economic benefits for these countries, much to our detriment. Brothers and sisters, we stand on the shoulders of our great ancestors, and we are going to say to them, we can carry on the struggle, and we know victory is certain. Victory is absolutely certain. So we hail our great ancestors, we hail our great mothers and our great fathers, and we thank you, and we ask you to join with us in this struggle as we look forward to the 16th of June, 16th of June, which is Leonard Howell Day. Yes, we must remember the great Leonard Howell, brothers and sisters. Yes, because when he tried to propagate and push the idea of a black God, when he wrote these things in the book The Promised Key, you must read it, brothers and sisters. Yes, they persecuted him. They fight him. They persecuted him. But he persevered. He said to the judge, "Judge, don't have no mercy on me. Judge, don't have no mercy on me." That's what Leonard Howell said to the judge at Sutton Street. Don't have any mercy on me, because when I sit in judgment over you, I will not have mercy on you. He was telling the judge. Now his children have risen up. His children have risen up. All these Rastafarians, all these black Pan-Africanists, all these great wailers, great singers, these are children of Leonard Howell. And we have risen up. And you didn't have any mercy on our fathers? Well, we ain't going to have any mercy on you. We ain't going to have any mercy on you. Yes, yeah, man. So we trod on, my brothers and sisters. We trod on, and we hail the great Leonard Howell, and we will celebrate on the 16th. On the 16th. What better Father's Day gives. Yes. Yes. Might we hear number 2? Yes, you can go ahead.
So I and I rise as Rasta Bikini, giving I and I eyes and I went to His Majesty, King of Kings, Haile Selassie. We tired of your freedom, we yearn to be free, to shape our future and carve our destiny. Oh, well, started the energy with the Gatling and the Holy BB. Here the king higher than God, he set a high self-sufficient race unity, set an example for African family. Live in love and praise His Majesty. Oh, well, the Gong Marachki with the promise key. So high and I rise as Rasta Bikini, giving I and I eyes and I want to His Majesty, King of Kings, Haile Selassie.
Now Archibald Dunkley and Henry started charts after Howell, Hines and Hibbert, praising Haile Selassie and Empress Menen as mother and father of the earth. Yet the society want to treat I and I, the children, like dirt. Come with brute force to harm and to hurt. Them fight Rastafari, cause them don't know what life really worth. Them try to deny Ethiopia as the place of mankind's birth. But the conquering lion is a living legend, the rightful ruler of the earth. And the good news was propelled by Leonard Howell and Joseph Nathaniel Hibbert.
Oh, well, the Gong Marachki with the promise key. So high and I rise as Rasta Bikini, giving I and I eyes and I want to His Majesty, King of Kings, Haile Selassie.
Yo, they rejected cornerstone, now turn the jewel in the crown. Police plunder pinnacle, back a wall, and batter shanty town. But no matter the obstacle, Rasta rise from the fall to rule all around. Free in country in town, with word, works and sound. So no self African, stand up and don't be a clown. Never diss the rasp with the tam, beer locks, turban or gown. And I chatting from the forest to the palace, straight for the throne.
Oh well, the gang mirage give we the promise key. So high and I rise as Rasta bikini. Giving eye and eyes and I want to His Majesty, King of Kings, Haile Selassie. We tired of your freedom, we yearn to be free, to shape our future and carve our destiny. Oh well, started the energy with the Gatly and the Holy Bible. Hear the King higher than Gavi, set a high self-sufficient race unity, set an example for the African family. Live in love and praise His Majesty.
Greetings. Yes, that was Raspada mentioned. Raspada Aishan. You heard the song, a very great and powerful song. Yeah, man, Raspada Aishan, who is a teacher at the Low River Primary School in Trelawney. Yes, he's also the cultural ambassador at the school. He has been teaching at school for over 20 years. That was a brother here, and we're going to play that song again. It's so important. So important. Yes, remember Amy Jakes Garvey. You know, she teaches us so much. She said the Chief Justice Phineas Barrett, ordered their properties and assets of the UNI sale. Although an appeal was pending, the Chief Justice in Jamaica ordered the sale of the UNI things that they had, even though an appeal was pending. During the hearing, he found Marcus Garvey guilty of contempt of court and fined him £25 for not producing in court, when requested, the books of the local branch, books which Garvey did not have in his possession. Or they stripped the organization financially, and Garvey was left without funds to carry on the works, much to the satisfaction of his numerous oppositionists. The law broke Garvey, but not his spirit. So what Amy Jakes Garvey remembered and said, the law, they used the law to break Garvey. Financially he was broke, but his spirit was strong. His spirit was very strong. And the law again was used greatly to expel Walter Rodney from Jamaica, that great black Pan-Africanist. This is what he said. In Africa, before the 15th century, the predominant principle of social relations was that of family and kinships associated with communalism. I read again, my brother, it's important that we know in Africa, before the 15th century, that's talking about the 14th century, 13th century, and 12th century. Before the 15th century, the predominant principle, that's before the white man came, that's when he came, the predominant principle of social relations was that of family and kinship associated with communalism. Every member of an African society had his position defined in terms of relatives on his mother's side and on his father's side. Some societies placed greater importance on matrilineal ties and others on patrilineal ties. Some place emphasis on motherhood, some place emphasis on father, and so on. Those things were crucial to the daily existence of a member of an African society, because land, the major means of production, was owned by groups such as the family or the clan, the head of which were parents and those yet born. Hear that, beloved? So even before you're born, you own land. Yes, because you were part of the family. You were part of the clan. So you were assigned to land even before you're born. Those yet born. In theory, this pattern was explained by saying that, and then I quote, the residents in any community were all direct descendants of the first person who settled the land. Hear that, beloved? So, even those not yet born, it was a saying, once they were a descendant of those persons who first settled the land, they have land. Wow. Isn't that beautiful, brothers and sisters? Even before you're born, you have land. Because you can't exist without. Look at the wolf of problems now we have in this part of the world to fight over land. Wow. You didn't have to fight before the white man came. And this was said to us by none other than Walter Rodney, who taught, spent some time, wrote books concerning Africa. So we heal, brothers and sisters, we heal our journey, and bitter sugar comes forward and rides forward again. Give thanks. Lots of things happening. Lots of things happening in Jamaica, in the world. There. Yes. But, no. Yeah.
I listen last to the first.
Whoa, oh,
The King of Peace.
He went to the League of Nations, the predecessor of the UN, and showed them this situation. Said he wanna go in. He went to the League of Nations, then he went to the UN to show them this solution, how the war can end.
I listen last to the first.
Whoa, oh yeah.
The King of
Peace. Them never help him resist the invasion. Them checks say I never free them problem. Today it's for us, tomorrow it's you. The same matter struck Ethiopia shall burn Europe too. I listen, I see, I judgment still stand true. Cause 3 years later, the whole world knew the Armageddon, the bloody war, the bloody war, World War II.
Pope Pius XI, and the end of them blessed. Benito Mussolini the beast, and send him off to Ethiopia. The war with Haile Selassie, the lion of the east. Occupied but unconquered. For 5 years, Ethiopia passed, but Italy had its feast. So in 936, the prophecies of Revelation 16 to the 19 began to fulfill. While leaders of the world hardened their hearts still. Yeah man, they sat and take counsel against the Most High Jah. But his word is like a sword, judging the nations. In the valley of Jehoshaphat, yeah man, a Joel tree fulfilling. case of might have a right. No one cared for the weaker country's plight. So scared and frightened, filled with selfish pride. The leaders of the world refused to help Jah in his fight. The day he went to the League of Nations. Haile Selassie the first.
Oh, yeah.
The King of Peace.
He went to the League of Nations, the predecessor of the UN, and showed them this situation. Said he wanna go in. Jah went to the League of Nations, then he went to the UN to show them the solution, how the war can end.
Haile Selassie the first.
Oh, yeah.
The King of Peace.
1968 in California, in one them but them discriminating philosophy and them stratified society, so everyone get justice and equality. Still them ignore the lion's instructions, so stand still and watch them destruction. Don't pressure and suppression in any nation. Pestilence and famine rampant on the land. Crime and violence threaten everyone. Poverty and hunger cause them never plan. Africa needs African Union, and to all this Jah gave solution.
Haile Selassie the first.
Wow. So, yes. I want to raise the issue of a little youth, 7 years old, Idoniai Wadada. That's his name. Idoniai Wadada, age 7. He attends the Youghton Primary School. He's in the middle of his little exams now. His parents don't want to immunize him. They don't want him to take any vaccine at all. The school is saying him can't come to school unless he's vaccinated. Now, we're at a stage where what the school is saying is that if he's not vaccinated, he would not get an education. Brothers and sisters, if you were in doubt before COVID, many people were in doubt before COVID, but after COVID, your eyes should have been opened. Your brain should have wake up. We saw how many people who took the vaccine died, brothers and sisters. We can't pretend no more. We can't pretend no more. The thousands of people in some of the most modern countries, thousands of vaccines. Millions died, brothers and sisters. Millions died. Who took the vaccine? Millions died. You know, New York, look how many people died. You know, we saw that. So, how can you now be insisting that our children take the vaccine? And look at the comparison. You would prefer to deny a 7-year-old an education because his parents do not want him to take the vaccine. You prefer that. So now we have to be writing all sort of exemption letters. That's what the ministry said we must provide. Exemption letters. It's not those who go take the vaccine or who have taken the vaccine must come with exemption letters. is those who want a natural life must now ask for exemption. You can imagine the crazy things that goes on. So this is at the Yorton Primary School. And the parents now have to be struggling. So this is another effort on the Rastafarian community. There were many, many ones. In other countries in the Caribbean, other countries in Canada, in North America, and Europe, you can get an exemption on medical grounds, on religious grounds, and on natural grounds. You get exemption. Even in Barbados, they have the vaccine thing, and you write and say, I'm a Rastafarian, I don't believe in vaccine, I cannot take it, I will not take it, and so on. And they exempt you. There are many countries in the world that people go now, and they said to them, the illnesses you have, blood transfusion is necessary. And the people say, no. If you can't guarantee me that the blood that you're going to transfuse into me is not coming from a person who took the vaccine, I don't want that blood. People are telling you that all over the world now. Say, no. Find another method. If you have to give me iron, find other ways and means. But I am not taking blood that you cannot guarantee me that is not coming from somebody who took the vaccine. And therefore, I'm going to feel contaminated. When Rasta said these things, them say, mad. But now, thousands of people are saying the same thing. So all of a sudden, Rasta make all of those people mad. People are saying, I don't want that blood. No. Because you cannot guarantee that is not a person who took the vaccine you get that blood from. So we are saying to the authorities in Jamaica, when you are taking blood, make sure you label the bag. Label it and put on it, this blood come from vaccinated person. Put it on it. Or this blood is coming from somebody who is not vaccinated. You got to make that distinction. Because you're doing harm to our people. But now to insist, and we now have to struggle to not just get district youth, I don't know what dada. Not to just get district youth in school. And we ask his mother to stay strong. Talsia Johnson, stay strong. We want to heal up Brother Jabala as he's strongly supporting the family in many ways to make sure that they're strong within Rastafari. But this is another struggle that we as Rastafari, that has been imposed on us. So it's not like we go look for struggle. I know some people might think that we go out and look for struggle. No, struggle imposed upon us. That if we don't struggle, they would have vanquished us. So now we have to take up the struggle of our children. Not just Adonia, what other, but there are many other children, the same age group coming up, that they are insisting must take the vaccine in order to get an education. Wow. Can you imagine? They have vaccine that they're injecting girls with. All over, not just Jamaica, Africa. Those vaccines is supposed to help to prevent pregnancy. You said so how can we trust this old system? How can we trust the WHO? They have admitted to so many failures, brothers and sisters. They have approved vaccines that have turned out not to be helpful. The WHO, yes. So you can look it up, brothers and sisters. That's the beauty about the technology when it's used wisely. You can look up and see for yourself. So I don't hear what other. Please stay strong, mommy. Please stay strong. And you in primary school, please. And the Ministry of Education, you have got to take into consideration those who do not want to take the vaccine. Whatever reason, whatever grounds, please accommodate them. Please accommodate them.
Africa is burning while the black woman and black man, Africa's past.
Africa been calling to you, all the things she wants you to do, but you never heard one word. Slavery got your mind shocked and curved. Africa been calling to you, all the things she wants you to do, but you never heard one word. Slavery got your mind shocked and curved. I see clear them now go rise them, but fear fall. Never connect to them spiritual call. To do negative at them daily ritual. Them now isolate history from over Senegal. Selassie I say, I saw shamani. Black people in the west, so one like them no want it. Them get caught up in white philosophy. Now idolize the teachings of Marcus Garvey. Hey, Africa been calling to you, all the things she wants you to do, but you never heard one word. Slavery got your mind shocked and curved. Africa been calling to you, all the things she wants you to do, but you never heard one word. Slavery got your mind shocked and curved. Man up the rise from this bondage, them mental and physical atrocities. For you to make me grow, yes them fi know. Civilization from Africa it flow. And question this, who were I before them slave ships? 400 years of torture and slave whips. Black people full time would flip the script. I know this, hey. Africa been calling to you, all the things she wants you to do, but you never heard one word. Slavery got your mind shocked and curved. Africa been calling to you, all the things she wants you to do, but you never heard one word. Slavery got your mind shocked and curved. Africans, Africa is burning. She want to see her children returning. Maybe not physically, but mentally. Should I like to see the children which have been carried away in slavery, adore them roots and reality. Africa must be free. I'm coming home to you, coming home to you, Mama Africa. I'm coming home. Hey, Africa been calling to you, all the things she wants you to do, but you never heard one word. Slavery got your mind shocked and curved. Africa been calling to you, all the things she wants you to do, but you never heard one word. Slavery got your mind shocked and curved. Africa been calling to you, all the things she wants you to do, but you never heard one word. Slavery got your mind shocked and curved. Africa been calling to you, all the things she wants you to do, but you never heard one.
No? Yeah, man. Give thanks. Yeah, man. We're moving along, going along nicely. Yes. For the rest of the program, we have lined up to speak to Fitzgerald Hines. Fitzgerald Hines is the Minister of Security in Trinidad. Yes. He's a Rastafarian. Yes, a Rastafarian. So, we're going to speak to Fitzgerald Hines shortly because we want to speak to him because no island in the Caribbean make guns. We don't make guns. But yet you have so much guns all over the Caribbean. And so when you find a razor in the hands of a baby, not only that baby will cut himself, cut others. So when you put a gun now in some of these hands, the only thing that result is the murdering of black people, their own people, some instances their brother, in instances their mother, instances their father. And make us not pretend. Most of these guns are coming from the United States, brothers and sisters. Most of these, we don't make guns. So much guns. When they book up finding guns coming in 60 or 20 or not just Jamaica, Antigua, Trinidad, Barbados, not to mention Haiti, the flood Haiti. Is this deliberate, brothers and sisters? Is there a planned thing whereby guns reach our shores so as to keep murdering our people? Shouldn't this matter come before the International Court of Justice? To say, well then, if you are making guns in America, you have a duty to make sure that guns stay within your borders. You must do everything to make sure the guns are not exported. Right now, it's like you're making guns to export. So we got to do something about it. Because the guns doesn't exist, the killings will lessen tremendously, brothers and sisters. So, I want to think about it and so on. So, we're going to try and get now. Yes, man. Yes. Good. On my level.
At the time alongside Ken Darky. Hey girl, come to me, I'm dressed in a full suit of coffee. Hey baby girl,
got to be you, black man. Got to be a real conscious Rasta man. Wanna understand how feel love black woman, yeah. And I'm bow to the ways of Babylon. In every way you so say, I love the way you flex, the way you brighten my day. Never treat me right, that's why I will never stray. Respect to you, I will always pay.
It's a sweet yata, the thing where you will look for seeing your daughter. I would if I fire my bun, just straight lava. Still, I will give you a lot of love, enough joy and laughter. Give you a couple sons and couple daughter, even in rata. Make we go make love in the mineral water. Teach about me king, you got a me thing. Make you know the lion a Judah. Empress, me sister, you bless. Yes, you flex like Mama Amiga. It's your next new thing, that's the procedure.
That's why I'm still loving Rasta. That's why I'm wanting you. Thank you, Almighty Jaja. I know this love is true. I'm still loving Rasta. That's why I'm wanting you. Thank you, Almighty Jaja. I know this love is true.
You want to call you no artificial, me say bless ya. Give thanks to send forth that empress ya. Let's make music together like Rita and the great Robert Nesta. Bonfire me not Chester. You no longer look a woman like you. We can clean and press and wash and cook me idols too. Coconut run down my Vegemite stove. Me not for think about joke right now, neither boy blue.
I'm still loving Rasta. That's why I'm wanting you. Thank you, Almighty Jaja. I know this love is true. I'm still loving Rasta. That's why I'm wanting you. Thank you, Almighty Jaja. I know this love, it's got to be you, black man. Got to be a real conscious Rasta man. Wanna understand how to love black woman, yeah. And I bow to the ways of Babylon. In every way, yes I say, I love the way you flex, the way you brighten my day. Never treat me right, that's why I will never stray. Respect to you, I will always pay.
It's a sweet ayata, the thing where you will look for seeing your data. I will live for my bun, just straight lava. Still, I will give you a lot of love, enough joy and laughter. Give you a couple sons and couple daughter, even in rata. Make we go make love in the mineral water. Teach about me king, yeah, that's me thing. Make you know the lion of Judah. Empress, me sister, you bless. Yes, you flex like Mama Amiga. It's the next new thing, that's the procedure.
I'm still loving Rasta. That's why I'm wanting you. Thank you, Almighty Jaja. I know this love is true. I'm still loving Rasta. That's why I'm wanting you. Thank you, Almighty Jaja. I know this love is true.
The article, you're not artificial, me say bless ya. Give thanks to send forth that empress, yeah. Let's make music together like Rita and the great Robert Nesta. Bonfire me not tester. You no long me look a woman like you. We can clean and press and wash and cook me idols too. Oh, can that run down my Vegemite stove? Who me now for think about Joe grind? No, neither boy blow.
I'm still loving Rasta. That's why I'm wanting you. Thank you, Almighty Jaja. I know this love is true. I'm still loving Rasta. That's why I'm wanting you. Thank you, Almighty Jaja. I know this love is true.
Yeah, man. That's Sister Candace. That she points out to us. She's still loving Rasta. And her love is true. Yeah, man. You know, when I look into it, we're trying to still get Fitzgerald hands. Yes. Yes, brothers and sisters. Nice, we have, yes. Oh, the education situation. During the 70s, the people paid for the education of our people. In other words, education was free. Nice. All right, we just take a break from that, and we're going to get in here now. Greetings, Fitzgerald.
Greetings to you, Brother Miguel. Greetings to you
nice.
And your listeners and your viewers.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. Now we have Brother Fitzgerald Hans on the line. And Brother Fitzgerald is a lawyer. His wife is a lawyer. And I think one of your daughters is a lawyer also. Is that so?
My last son is getting involved in the law, getting ready to go into law school now, having completed the work for his law degree.
Yes.
But the other two are medical doctors engaged in specialization programs at this juncture. So we just have one lawyer coming out of the two who produced them.
Yes, that's fantastic. Now, I want to get at the point immediately. I remember, Brother Fitzgerald, that when I came to Trinidad, you took me up to David Mohammed's Mohammed Mosque. It was being built at the time. I don't know if it's finished by this. It's finished now?
Yes, it has. It has finished, and it is very much in operation and service to the people of the communities in which it is set. Yes.
And this David Marvin, which many Jamaicans know because he's born the same day as Marcus Garvey, and he usually come here for the Marcus Garvey event. Now, you took me there, and the mosque is in the middle of two tribal, what I could call them now, gangs.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And I remember you told me that it's dangerous, but you're going to take me there. And
yes,
because
indeed.
On one side, there's an area called Rasta City. And on the other side, there was an area where some Muslims lived. And there are times when they trade bullets at each other. That was very brave of you to take me there.
Well, I would think that, that is terrain that you would not be unfamiliar with,
yes.
given the condition of both our peoples.
Yes.
But yes, you are right. Yes, you are right. And I recall when I did that, you took strong umbrage, you took offense at the use of the word Rasta in the title Rasta City, which had absolutely nothing to do with the history, the consciousness, the power, the might that is Rasta, but they used the name. Fortunately, since then, Brother Miguel, the gangs have continued to morph into other things. So the name Rasta City is hardly ever used now. Give praise and thanks to Jah for that. And even the name Muslims, because again, it was really disdainful and disrespectful to have criminal gangs carrying the titles, the names Muslims. That must have been an affront to David Mohammed and all the other Muslims of country, Trinidad, the region, and the world. And of course, to every Rasta man and Rasta woman around the place. So fortunately, the thing has morphed a little bit. It has changed, and they don't use those titles too much or at all anymore. It has now come to numbers. You have 6 and 7 gangs. So them who was Rasta, they now use the term 7. The gang is now 7. And then you have another splinter off the 7 now that is called 6. And then you have ABG. So it has morphed, but it really represents the same kind of emptiness and nothingness and danger and going nowhere that is afflicting our people, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but I know in Jamaica, I know across the region, we are having similar kinds of issues with our youth. And it is why I will take this opportunity to salute you and pay respectful and honorable tribute to you, Brother Miguel. You would have remembered that I took you to that location and others in Trinidad when you last visited with us.
Yes.
But what I remember from the time I heard, before I met you as a young lawyer, I heard in Trinidad the name Miguel Lorne because you had come to Trinidad to carry on a case for a brother. And your name had become known in Trinidad. And then by the time I met you, I saw that you were deep in the struggle, deep in the work. And as I told you earlier, when you called me about this program, I pay respectful and humble tribute to you, dear brother. You have dedicated your mind, your intellect, your profession, your consciousness, you to the people of Jamaica, the people of the region, by illuminating us, providing us with material to learn, to read, to inspire consciousness among us, rather than the nothingness and emptiness that these gangs using high-powered military-grade weapons and ammunition continue to impose on each other and our people. Every day in Trinidad, every day is families mourning the death of 2, 3 other people. And I mean, little St. Lucia, I just came back from a ministerial conference in Miami. I met your Minister of National Security and the Attorney Generals and ministers across this CARICOM region. And just, it bore down hard on my soul to learn that little St. Lucia, with a population of 120 people.
120,000.
Yeah, 120,000, I'm sorry. As at about 2 weeks ago, had already chalked up about 43 murders for the year, when they normally for the entire year would have far less than that.
Mm-hmm.
So at half year, they were already on 43, so they were heading to 100 in that little and beautiful space. So brother, I salute you, and I thank you, and we continue to try to see how we could educate the people, share with them, create pathways for our youngsters away from gangsterism and the emptiness and nothingness of it into more productive streams. So, it's just going to keep on the work.
Which lead me to another thing now. Here it is. No Caribbean country make guns. But we have this whole heap of guns coming in from the United States, being distributed all over the Caribbean and causing this amount of murders and mayhem in our communities. What would you suggest that we could try, first of all, to eliminate this amount of guns coming in the region?
Well, brother, the first thing, just like, let's say, the physical disease that is what we call AIDS, the first thing is individual consciousness, because you are the first protector, the first enforcer, the first guardian. So an individual has to decide, he has to take certain steps to avoid himself being contaminated with or being the victim of certain diseases. In COVID, we wore masks, we used sanitizers, we kept social distance and all of that. So an individual has some responsibility in this to start with. But beyond that, it is now very clear to us that the main source of these weapons are, in fact, the United States. In April of last year, Prime Minister Rowley called the rest of the region together at the Hyatt in Port of Spain, and certain declarations among the prime ministers, the leaders of the region, were made. One of them was to communicate with the United States, recognizing that these guns that's the major source of the problem in this regard. And when they had the Summit of the Americas in Los Angeles last year, the Caribbean leaders demanded a sidebar meeting with President Biden. And at that meeting, they put that problem to him. And from the reports available to me through my prime minister and others, he took a very favorable and understanding position to that problem. And the United States has, I must tell you truthfully, taken certain steps to ensure that this problem is minimized and continue to become, to be resolved. For an example, they created a federal offense in the United States to move, because some states you can obtain weapons without too much background checks quite easily. And the evidence is showing that it is in those states that they are purchased and then brought to places like Miami for swift shipment to Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago. So they created a federal offense, moving it from one state to the next. And very recently, they took action. There's the United States. They took action to demand end user certificates. In other words, they are now putting restrictions on persons who purchase and import firearms to sell in our region. Now, this is important because while it is legal firearms in some cases, there's the concept of diversion. So very often, I mean by that, they can be misused or abused. So some action is being taken at the international level. CARICOM now, at CARICOM level, we have established some intelligence sharing and gathering, the CARICOM Gun Intelligence Unit. So we're working in collaboration with each other, sharing information to try to minimize the movement of these weapons into our community. So even if two brothers have a dispute, in the absence of a gun, the thing is going to be less lethal. And of course, inside of Trinidad and Tobago, for which I have some responsibility, we are engaged, just like Jamaica, in some very serious gun retrieval programs and exercises. And of course, most of all, we continue to create more and more opportunities for the young people so that they will see that that is a life of futility and pursue more positive paths and exercise the gifts that God has given them more positively so that they don't have to thief and rob and cheat and kill and murder and arson and rape and all them brutal something to be a winner. You can do it all and win without that. Usain Bolt is a great example. Rasta Miguel is a great example, and so many others. You don't have to cheat and kill and murder to be a winner.
You see, as you mentioned, firstly, that the leaders had put into Biden's ears and that certain things are being done. But we have not seen the fruits of those labors as yet. We still have
That's correct.
A number of guns coming in. Just a couple months ago, they discovered a shipment of over 60 guns coming to Jamaica. Whenever guns coming in, 20 guns, 40 guns.
One of the things we discovered, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, and I think Jamaica joined Mexico last year, brought a class action, let me call it that, against the firearm dealers in the United States. As you know, there's a very strong gun lobby in the United States. There's a provision in their constitution that they can bear arms. Civilians, I'm talking about the people. And there's a strong gun lobby. America is a big market, as you know, and part of that market is the manufacture and sale of guns and ammunition, and they protect that very fiercely because for them it's business. So while it is all that happening in that big market, when it crosses Jamaica's borders into Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, it's a different story. It's illegal. We have different approaches here, and we don't have no right to bear arms and no constitution. So we joined Mexico in this action, not against the government of the United States, but against the firearm dealers. As you will know, Brother Miguel, there are 8 gun manufacturing plants in Brazil, which is next to Guyana, which is next to Trinidad and Tobago, and not too far from Jamaica. So that gun manufacturing is a major part of the American business and market. So for them, as I say, it's all business and they just want to sell, buy and sell. But for us, it means something else when it gets into the
mayhem and murder.
Yeah, in Gordon Town, and that place that was made very popular in a song by that brother. You sing, what's the name of the town there? Some town, August Town, and in Laventille and so on. It makes a big, big difference. So the struggle is on.
Seriously on.
Yes, dear brother.
We must use our brains to cauterize this struggle, you know. Yes. And
indeed.
Yes, we will continue. Now,
but then you see, if I may just say before you push on to the next issue,
yes.
Let me say too, Rash Shorty in a song, a calypso, says, and many of the brothers say it in their reggae work as well, you push the creator out. You didn't want his name in your mouth. You take him out of the school curriculum, no knowledge of God for the children. The children of this region, as the children of the world, are being taught strange things in today's world. They are being taught a tremendous amount of violence. All of the movies, most of them, Brother Miguel, is violence from cover to cover. A lot of the video games our children are exposed to on their mobile and handsets are about killing. So killing is subliminally put inside of their little souls. So they have become numb to it. And talking about numb, supporting the violence that is being taught, drugs have become easily available to our children through the same nasty marketing and all of that. Drugs have become available to them, and they are using drugs. For example, Peter Tosh might say legalize it, and Jacob Miller might say tired for liquid in a bush and all of these things. But I'll tell you something, they are now artificially engineering the plant, the herb, and moving the THC content in marijuana from the normal 27% to all 90%. So when the youth take that, what we call here, they call some of it creepy, and get a hold of a little portion of herb, and he think his ordinary herb he going to use for some meditation and prayer and whatever else, is something very, very potent and very dangerous. Apart from the marijuana and what they're doing to it, purely for the sake of the market, there's also other drugs that are cocaine and all kinds of things, the LSD and heroin.
You're just about a few miles from Venezuela.
That's right. 7 miles away, coast to coast.
From Venezuela, yes.
Yeah. On a clear day, I would see Venezuela from my southwestern tip, and they would see me. So a lot of stuff coming up from down inside of Colombia and otherwise, quite frankly, and all kinds of nasty drugs. So the combination of the lessons of violence from toddler stage right on up through the life, and the pornography and the drugs, and then on top of that, they push the creator out. They don't want to talk about God anymore. And therefore, and then the absence of the consciousness that we are supposed to be possessed of to make us really strong and ready and resistant. So it's a combination of all of these things. So you are quite right, Brother Miguel. We have to use our brain, we have to use our spirit, and we have to keep communicating with our people to protect them from these things so that they could behave in the way that Mama expected us to behave to each other.
In Jamaica.
And by that Mama, I also mean Mama Africa.
Definitely, great. Definitely. In Jamaica, they have passed some draconian, in my view, draconian laws whereby you can get up to 35 years. 35 years. Plead guilty, get that 35 years. And they have literally take sentencing out of the hands of the judges. Parliament has now passed laws that take sentencing out of the hands of the judges. And you get, for possession of a gun, you get 35 years. Now, we have arguments on both sides. Some people are saying that the prisons are going to be full because we do not see in a let-up at all in the amount of cases that come before the gun court especially. But what's your view on that? That, we need to increase the sentencing so as to reduce the amount of guns that are in the society?
In the course of my research recently in preparation for a parliamentary debate, someone here raised the Jamaican context with me, raised it, and suggested that we do like Jamaica and push some very severe sentences and so on. And in the course of my research, it occurred to me very seriously that our laws are in many ways as severe as that of Jamaica, that of which you have just described. So we are similar in terms of severity of sentences. What we do not have, based on what you have just said, is a situation where we have taken sentencing out of the hands of judges. From the case law I am familiar with here, the judges have made it clear from time to time we can set up maximum sentences, but it is entirely up to the courts to decide what level of sentence inside of that maximum, say 30 years or life, that it will issue in a particular case where a brother is convicted. And you're right, we have to kind of balance the thing, because very often some of the criminal adults use your 16-year-old, your 15-year-old, your 13-year-old in what we call a gun sack to carry around the thing, to hide the thing. So when you catch a little boy like that, to give him life for 30 years or some little 18-year-old, let's say, it's really going to be very
painful.
Very hard on him.
Painful, yeah.
And yeah. So we take all of these kinds of things into consideration. And while we do that, we also have to consider there are people for whom use of guns, extortion of businessmen and professionals, and even little people. Listen, in some communities, the little woman who's selling a little wings and fries and little festival, little things, they are the victims of serious extortion in their communities. They have to pay up when the week come. I'm sure that happens in Jamaica too.
Business sector, they have to pay, yes.
Yeah, the little coconut vendor, the little orange vendor. So there are some who use these guns and criminality as a business. And for them, I will have no difficulty in applying the stiffest sentences. But, justice must also require sensitivity and mercy, and a first-time offender and a young boy who was impressionable and who was used, and all of these things. So the courts in Trinidad and Tobago have jealously guarded their right to sentence. And from the case law available to me, we haven't gotten to the point where we can tell them, even if Parliament passes a law that says that, the judges of Trinidad and Tobago will assert their right to sentencing, and that's how that has gone.
As you mentioned that, the government now in Jamaica, they have used a lot the example of Trinidad. They say, look at Trinidad. Trinidad has become a republic, but Trinidad still retains the Privy Council. So Jamaica can do the same, become a republic, and still maintain the Privy Council. So they use that example to push down our throat. The sentiments of the people clearly want to become a republic. But for many reasons, even some sensible lawyers still feel that we should retain the Privy Council. Having done that with Trinidad, what's your views on that?
Great, beautiful. The question of the Privy Council as our final appellate appeal court it has become a very hot political item in Trinidad and Tobago. And I'll tell you a little bit of the historiography of that. The opposition party, as we speak, had fully supported the Caribbean Court of Justice as our final appellate court in criminal matters. And then the government changed in 1995. So strong that government was, the United National Congress, that when I think other countries, including Jamaica, wanted the court to be stationed in Kingston or in Bridgetown, and so Trinidad and Tobago fought hard for it and won out on it, so that the Caribbean Court of Justice is situated in Port of Spain, Trinidad. And when the government changed in a most unprincipled, politically sterile way, they immediately changed their position and said, we don't want no piecemeal constitutional reform to remove, for an example, the Privy Council as our final court. We want wholesale constitutional reform. When we're dealing with it, we deal with every aspect of it. And so it stopped until today, so that the PNM government, to your listeners, the government that I belong to, because I'm a member of parliament for the People's National Movement and I'm a minister in that government, just for transparency, let your listeners know that. We support the movement. We have made it very clear. We are ready to go with the Caribbean Court of Justice as our highest appellate court. But we need a constitutional majority based on our constitution in order to achieve that. So while Trinidad and Tobago is and has been a republic since 1976, we cannot offload the Privy Council because we do not have the majority. No government has won the sufficient parliamentary majority to do that without the support of the opposition. And therefore, that position, political as it is what has stopped Trinidad and Tobago from removing the Privy Council as our highest court and assuming the jurisdiction of the Caribbean Court of Justice. So there is where it's at in Trinidad and Tobago. We are reluctant participants at this time. But of course, the matter is one of political divide. So there are those who are saying, retain it and let's keep it. So there's where we are, brother.
See, in Jamaica contribute to the Caribbean Court of Justice, but don't use it. So people are saying, how can you, contribute money to it and it's there, use it, because the problem in Jamaica, I don't know if it's the same problem in Trinidad, 95% of the judges come from the office of the DPP, Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. 95% of our judges. And people feel that, we because of that bias, that they come from the DPP office. In some instances, they are not brave enough, they are not bold enough to give justice. Some people advocated that you probably need a school where you can train judges and prepare judges to come out to adjudicate on the people. So those they say now with the Privy Council, because the Privy Council tend to be less, they don't say the prejudice that exists in Jamaica. They tend to appear to give more justice. So I'm one of those who hear the different arguments and so on. As a black man, it hurt me to know our final court is the Privy Council. But in terms of boldness and justice, they appear at this time to be willing to make decisions that our local courts at the appeal level doesn't want to make. And that gives argument now, that gives more fuel to the fire that we must retain the Privy Council. That's what happened in Jamaica at the moment.
Oh, I see. Well, that kind of consideration does not exist, as far as I know, in Trinidad and Tobago. We do have judges who would have served in the office of the DPP, but not in numbers to have created that problem for us in Trinidad and Tobago. No. And I think once the political issues are resolved and we move to it, I anticipate that the judges of Trinidad and Tobago will get on board, get in line, and the business of justice will continue. Not that we don't have our own challenges, we obviously do. No judicial system is perfect. One of the major issues we face here in terms of the judiciary is the delivery of justice has become a little bit stymied, a little bit clustered, and it is not turning over as quickly as it is, of large backlogs and so on. And that, some people quite justifiably argue, is contributing to some of the problems with crime, because those who are about to commit crime have no fear about the criminal justice system, because they anticipate that it will take 10 years before they get to there. The police officers who charge would retire. The witnesses may die or get murdered, as has happened in some cases. They can inject fear into some of them and turn them away. Up to today, I read in the newspaper here that a witness was telling the court, I am afraid to give evidence in a particular matter. And as a result of that, and it has happened before, they had to discharge the accused, and he would have walked away quite happily. So we do have problems, and I don't think this is only Jamaica and Trinidad. All these things exist everywhere else, and we are having our own challenges, and this is why we want to protect and preserve our young people and encourage them to excel in academic terms, in terms of skills and trades, and in everything, so that they can take over when the Miguel Lornes of this world would have retired from active community and public service, so that they can carry on, because the region that they are about to inherit is a challenging one indeed, with many problems and new problems arising on a daily basis. So it's tough going, but we gotta soldier on.
Definitely, because I think ultimately we have to control our judiciary. We have to ultimately it have to be in our hands, and even to the point of bringing in judges. If you don't have enough judges that you feel are impartial, you can start by bringing in 1 and 2 judges to sit on the bench when you're adjudicating on important matters.
Yes. In fact, it is not uncommon now for judges to have left the bench in Trinidad and take up judicial appointments in other parts of the region. In fact, recently a Court of Appeal judge here left, and I understand she's now heading the court in another jurisdiction. That is becoming more and more common because it is our size, and therefore, yes, yours is a solid thought that we can have some more movement of the people, if I may quote Bob Marley, among the legal professionals, so as to improve the situation and to remove this perception of local bias and so on, which is a matter for concern at this time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you let me just ask you very quickly, in the face of your listeners, do you find time to practice law still, or you just
yes, I do. Yes,
teach us?
No, I still find time to practice law, but the bulk of the practice is that one of my sons take up a lot of the court work. So it eased off the court work on me. But we still, in office, we still have a lot. And I too have a little daughter who is now studying law, and we look forward to her coming out now and take on some of the work on me. So pretty soon I'll be able to come. I'll be able to come to Trinidad, say quarterly. For the year, I'll be able to come as often as I would like and see my brothers and sisters there. But
you're very, very welcome. You're very welcome, and I take the opportunity to publicly extend an invitation again. We'd be more than happy to have you. not only in terms of my domesticity, but as well in terms of the profession. Many lawyers get called to the bars of the different jurisdictions in the region. So I know you practiced here some time ago. I don't know if you would want to refresh your application.
Definitely, because the width of your intellectuality. You go to other regions, you see things differently. You see matters come up.
Right.
Yes, you can narrow down your intelligence. You make it as wide and things like that. And so I would encourage other lawyers to, even to do a 1 and 2 case per year in Trinidad would be very good.
Indeed. Yeah, and we'd be more than happy to have you and any of the brothers and sisters who venture,
Yes.
I know many lawyers here who practice in other jurisdictions as well. Go up there, and stuff. Yeah, several of them,
Yes. Mm-hmm. The other topic I want to raise is Haiti. Haiti has now become a sore foot in our region. From being the golden baby years ago when Haiti led the way in triumph and revolution. But now it has become a sore foot. What are your views in regards to how we can solve the Haitian problem?
Well, for one thing, I can tell you a solution is not an easy, it would not come easy. It would not come easy. The situation, the breakdown of that society has been very, very long, taken place over a long period of time, very systemic. And from the reports available to me in Trinidad and Tobago here, the gangs led by a former police officer by the name of Barbecue, as you know, they have really dug in deep, taken control of very critical commanding heights of that economy to the extent that that still exists. And they are, again, very, very well armed. And therefore, it is at the point now where Haiti is unable to help itself. There was a point late last year when it came to our attention, and there was a call led by the Jamaican Prime Minister for other governments of the region to lend some support to rebuild the Haitian police service, because on one particular day or thereabout, about 700 plus police officers just packed up and fled. So powerful the gangs are, and so weak that the police institution, which is designed to protect the people, had become. So we sent off a few personnel to train other people, and along with Jamaica, to rebuild that. And so the solution is not going to come very easy. It is now at the place where outside help is absolutely necessary. And the question is, do you organize a military response, so to speak, or do you try to engage in some kind of negotiation? And I think there is where it's at the moment. There have been some intermittent calls for different countries of the region to send troops and help, and a couple of African states, because outside help is absolutely necessary. It appears as though, as I said, Haiti is unable to assist herself in this particular one. So therefore, these discussions are going on, but the CARICOM governments are very, from my observation, not speaking on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago, but from my observation, the CARICOM governments have been a little bit reluctant to put boots on the ground, because that will have certain political
consequences.
Implications. Yes, and not just political, but in terms of people will of course perish on all sides. So that obviously will have to be a last resort. So I know discussions are ongoing, and I have not seen. In my view, I would like to see some more, rather than CARICOM, wider range support. I know Canada has done a few things on the margins. I think, but I'm not seeing a very concerted international effort just I haven't seen it, although I am aware that there is some discussion taking place behind the scenes. But for the time being, the situation is locked into what it is as discussions continue.
Yes.
But it is a very, very sad state of affairs, brother.
Yes.
David Rudder has a song, Haiti, I'm Sorry, but I hum it in my heart. You know this song?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, you mean, man? Very good, man. Haiti, I'm sorry. We misunderstood you. Yes.
Yeah, start off the song was saying, Toussé was a mighty man, and to make matters worse, he was black. Yes. But then again, that was in the days when blacks knew their place was in the back. But this rebel, he walked through Napoleon, who thought it wasn't very nice. And still today, my brothers and sisters of Haiti, you still pay the price. And then he goes into the chorus, Haiti, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Misunderstood you.
It's a brilliant song.
One day we turn our heads and look inside you. Well, now is that time. Now is that time. David Rudder is the same man for your listeners. I'm sure they would know because Jamaicans enjoy calypso much as we enjoy reggae.
Yes.
And I'm sure they'll know David Rudder is the same brother who sang Rally Round the West Indies.
Yes.
Yeah,
man. He's in Trinidad, right?
No, he lives for the most part out in Canada. He's here now. He visits very regularly, but he has taken up a large part of his time is spent in Canada, from what I'm aware of. But he does come to Trinidad quite often, hosts concerts, and still is doing his things. Getting on in years like you and I, and having some physical challenges, but the mind and the intellect and his record stands firm and strong. Really great artist, Great artist.
What about, was it Chalk? No, not Chalk. The brother that sang The Caribbean Man.
That was Black Stallion. He passed on a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Leroy Callis, Dr. Leroy Callis, he was given an honorary doctorate by the University of the West Indies, as indeed was Sparrow. And he passed on a couple of years ago. I had the honor to have been his friend, a personal friend and a friend to his family, because like you, he's a Rasta man that commanded my respect. And I felt particularly in his later years, he developed a stroke and was incapable of moving around. And I would visit him along with another brother pretty regularly and, touch base with his family. And I was fortunate to have been at his life celebration when he passed and had the opportunity to say a few words there too. But that's one of the strong brothers, consistent brothers who taught us so much. Yeah. Black Stallion. Yeah. Which one? Caribbean Man?
Yes, Caribbean Man. A fantastic song.
Yeah.
By Black Stallion.
Yeah.
Which lead me now... Yes, go ahead.
Let me say this. Between the reggae legends, Bonnie Whaler, Tosh and Marley and so many others, and the Calypsonians of the region, the Sparrows, the Valentinos, the Black Stallions, the David Rudder, our poets, our griots, they really did a whole lot of work to edify us, to lift our souls. They made a serious contribution to the development of our people, our artists. You will agree with me?
I fully agree with you. Yeah, man. Artists which was too liberating were banned.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the song that the system feel that was carried too far, they were banned. And that's why that song that you mentioned about you all, they have contributed because they have now taken things like God out of the curriculum and all of that.
That's Rashot. Yeah, you pushed the creator out. You didn't want his name in your mouth. You take him out of the school curriculum. No knowledge of God for your children. So what you crying for? Where all you bawling for? I ain't no good singer, but I just give you a little touch.
Well, you're doing brilliant. You're doing brilliant. Yeah, man, we need that. Which leads me.
You mentioned Chogdas a while ago, right?
Yes.
That's your brother and your friend as well. You had known him, right?
Yes, I'd known him, and I knew him a lot too. Seiko. He's a very good friend of Seiko, and so on.
Yes, Seiko. Yeah,
man. And so on.
I haven't seen Seiko for many years. You must give him my blessings and greetings when next you touch base with Seiko.
Yes, I speak with him at least once a week. Once a week.
You can give him my number and ask him to touch base with me, man. I'd be more than happy to talk.
I certainly will know that you're mentioning it. But I come to the next topic now. The move towards, I see them, they talk it a lot, but it's not moving as fast as I would like. The whole thing of regionalism. In other words, whereby somebody can move from Trinidad to Jamaica and work, and vice versa. You can go to Dominica, you can go to Antigua. You know, we would love to see more movement within the region.
Well, I'm happy to remind your listeners and your viewers that CARICOM has taken steps in that regard. There's free movement of certain categories of workers. Professional class, yes, but not long ago they introduced domestic workers and security workers, security guards, and so on. So we are broadening, CARICOM, broadening the scope of the people, the professions that can move freely from one country to the next on the basis of the CSME certificate. As Minister of National Security, other than that, on a daily basis, I sign off on applications for work permits, applications for citizenship, applications for permanent residence in this country. And up to today, Jano, I signed off on a few of them because I have been visited by the Jamaican High Commissioner in Trinidad, and the past one, and of course the incumbent. As soon as she came, she visited with me, raising issues about Jamaicans who want to get the business sorted out in Trinidad, and I assured them truthfully that we do this routinely on an ongoing basis. Up to today, I would have dealt with a couple files touching and concerning Jamaican. So in terms of movement and in terms of freedom to trade and to do business and to work, I think, yes, it is developing beautifully. And I think CARICOM is closer now, working better together now than any time else in the past. I mean, ideas of insularity and things doesn't arise anymore. We work at least, and I can speak frankly and truthfully on this, from a national security position. Sharing. Right now we have T20 cricket, and we worked together to create a single space where when someone enters Jamaica for cricket, it is as if they entered Trinidad and Tobago. With precious little, they can now move from Jamaica to a game in Trinidad. So we have that kind of cooperation, and it is happening more fluently, easier, naturally almost. So we are in a good place. I think we are heading in the right direction in that regard. Because yes, our people, regional people, I mean, Trinidad and Tobago is 1.3 million people. Jamaica is about, 2.8 million people?
Call it 3.
Huh?
No, you could say 3 million.
Say 3 million?
Yes.
So that is a small market. And Trinidad is a smaller market. But together, with movement of skills and products and so on, and
you bring
cooperation between us,
and you
create
bring
a bigger market and more opportunities for our people.
You're bringing the diaspora into it. Because I think we both have more people living outside of the country than inside.
Well, that is probably right. And that's because probably they couldn't find the space to prosper and to grow at the rate they wanted to in the region. But so when we broaden our boundaries and we create one solid Caribbean with free movement of goods, services, and people, we create more opportunities for people like that. And therefore, we are more likely to retain them in the region. Up to last weekend, we had a massive reggae concert here. We had, the week before, we had Luciano and some others. And by the way, I have a team of Jamaican police officers in Trinidad and Tobago now. They have come here to assist their colleagues in Trinidad with an exercise. We are recruiting about 1,000 police this year, and we needed some help, and they have come to assist in some aspects of that, and we are more than happy to have them. So last week and last weekend, Saturday and the one before, there were two major reggae concerts in Trinidad, and I extended an invitation to these group of officers to attend, and they did, and reported that they had a very good time. So your artists come very regularly, our artists come very regularly to Jamaica and other islands, and therefore the free movement thing is happening, and I would like to see much more of it.
Yes, we want to expand. Nice. Brother Fitz, we have taken up quite a bit of your time, but we're very glad. And we want to maintain this communication and this dialogue so that we can, we're glad that at short notice you're able to talk with us, and that, we can do much more in terms of bringing knowledge to our people in Trinidad and in Jamaica. Like I said, you still go up to by Brother David? You get time to go up there still?
Well, it's actually, Brother David's mosque is in my constituency, but I haven't, he is very regularly on the TV and on the radio here educating the people. So I haven't had sight of him within recent times, but I am aware of his presence, I'm aware of his work, and he continues to be a teacher to the people.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So, Brother Miguel, I am more than happy to have been on your program this evening and to reason with you on the matters that you have raised. I really enjoyed that. I appreciated that, and would be very happy to be with you again in the future. And insofar as you are concerned, your credit is so tall. The stock is so great. I mean, once you call, I'll be very hard pressed not to respond positively. So strength, honor to you, your family, particularly the youngsters who are coming up to make their contribution in Jamaica, the region and the world, and to all of your viewers and listeners. It was indeed a great pleasure for me to be with you this evening.
It's an honor for me, my brother. I thank you very much, and I know my listeners appreciate it greatly.
Thanks very much. Blessings to everyone.
I thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very good. You know, my brothers and sisters, some of you may wonder why we treat Haiti with such great fervor. You know, it's such a beautiful song, Haiti. It's so poignant and it's so apt that we are now telling Haiti, sorry. One day we turn our head and look inside. In other words, have we all let down Haiti? Have we all betrayed Haiti? Haiti is special to us, brothers and sisters. When Haiti carried out that 1804 revolution, when Haiti threw out the French, threw out the British, threw out the Spanish, and governed themselves, when those black persons in 1804 liberated Haiti with the help of some Jamaicans who had gone over there, throw them out and take over their country. One of the first things they did was to draft a constitution. And in that constitution, they made it quite clear that any black man from whether America, Canada, South America, Brazil, Chile, Peru, Mexico, Jamaica, Trinidad, St. Lucia, any black man from any of these regions made it to Haiti, because remember 1804, slavery was still existing. And they put in their constitution that any black man or woman, once you made it to Haiti, you are a free person. You are a free person. No one could come there to recapture you. They couldn't come from Cuba. They couldn't come from Mexico. They couldn't come to Haiti to capture you back and put you back into slavery. So just many made it. Many persons, many Jamaicans went there. But many did not make it. But just working on the plantation and knowing that you have a country which is now run by black people who themselves were once slaves and now liberated themselves. You know what? But that must have meant for our minds. Brothers and sisters, that's great. So we must treat the Haitians as special. No matter how you see them go on, and I struggle now and I go up on boat and no, we must treat them as special. Brothers and sisters, remember that. We owe 80. We owe 80 for that black pride. We owe 80. And one of the leaders of that revolution, Bookman, they call him Bookman because he always walk with a book. Bookman, who was also a priest and a liberator and a freedom fighter. He traveled to Haiti from Jamaica and participated there and led the struggle there. Just remember that, Bookman. So we forever beholden to Haiti. Make we play it again now. No, we play it again.
Black Haiti, I'm sorry. One day we turn our heads, restore your glory. Many hands reach out to St. George's and are still reaching out to those frightened, foolish men of Pretoria. We still scream and shout. We get together in song to steady the horn of America. But the Papa Lord come and the baby Lord go, and still we don't seem to care. No, no. Haiti, I'm sorry. Oh, we misunderstood you. But one day we turn our heads and look inside you. Haiti, I'm sorry. Hey, Haiti, I'm sorry. One day we turn our heads, restore your glory. When there is anguish in Port-au-Prince, it's still Africa crying. We're routing fires in faraway places when our neighbors are just burning. They say the middle passage is gone, so how come overcrowded boats still haunt our lives? I refuse to believe that we good people would forever turn our hearts and our eyes away. Haiti, I'm sorry. We misunderstood you. One day we turn our heads and look inside you. Haiti, I'm sorry. Oh, Haiti, I'm sorry. Oh, oh, oh. One day we turn our heads and restore your glory. Haiti, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry. For so long, we've looked away, turned our eyes around. Haiti, I'm sorry. Sorry. Haiti, I'm sorry. We misunderstood you. But one day we turn our heads, and look inside you. Haiti, I'm sorry. Sorry. Oh, Haiti, I'm sorry.
Yes, you know, we in Jamaica, we should never ever turn back a nation, turn them back. When they come on that, those, you must see, well, you all see it on television, some of those boats don't look like it can be another journey out into the sea. So rickety of those boats. And they come. And by night, we in Jamaica carry them back, turn them back. Oh, such inhumane behavior. We should never, for what Haiti has done for the black world, for what Haiti has done, we should think it an honor that any Haitian who made it to our shores, we should welcome them, treat them good. Brothers and sisters, we should never turn them back. It's a betrayal, one for which the government will suffer. You don't treat people like that. You don't ever treat people like that, brothers and sisters. Don't ever. I was glad to speak to Fitzgerald Hines. He's the Minister of National Security in Trinidad and Tobago. And you heard the incident I mentioned to him that I wanted to see David Mohammed. He's a brethren of mine, he's a friend of mine, he's a Muslim. But we overlap in so much. And there's a brother whose mind I respect greatly, David Mohammed. So I wanted to give some of my books that I had carried down to Trinidad. I know David's wife runs a school at the mosque. I wanted to leave those books with her. And so we went up to this place, and it was in the middle of a war zone at the time. And like I mentioned, I said, well, Brother Fitz, if you are able to go, I will go. I don't want to bring you into anything, but I'd love to go. And Fitz said, all right, we'll go. And we went up there. Now, David Mohammed has built this mosque in the middle of the war zone. Bullets sometimes fly over the region of the mosque when persons are shooting at one another. But how David do it is that children from one side come to the school and children from the other side also come to David's school. It's amazing. And he says, well, people are not going to shoot their children. And so on. I was glad after we went up there, spent a good time and left, that news came to us that they knew that we were up there. That is, the warring factions knew that we were there. And they sent a message to me that no harm would have come to me in any event. And that the only mistake we made was that we did not come to meet them. No, it was go to meet the warring faction. Because, as you heard Fitzgerald said, he's the MP for the year. So they felt that they had many news, many things to say to the MP. And they would have gladly wanted them to come to them, especially in my company. But we got that news afterwards. So they said that next time we come up there, please come and see them. Come and see one side and then go and see the next side. Well, I'm willing to do that, brothers and sisters. If that will bring some peace, if that will, encourage persons to put on the gun and to, be productive citizens, then certain things that we'll have to do, we'll do. So more than likely, the next time I go to Trinidad, we'll make sure that this time we just don't see David and his wife and the brothers and sisters at the mosque, but that we will go into the warring areas and see what little we can do. Might be, I'm not grandstanding that we will do a whole lot, but if we can make even one man or two man, bring a little closer to peace, certainly we'll try. Next song we're going to play, which Fitzgerald also mentioned, I mentioned it to him, but he says Black Stallion was a very good friend of his, and so on. The Caribbean Man. That song actually won the the Trinidad and Tobago Calypso contest that year. So 1970s. It won the Caribbean Calypso contest. It was very, very popular in Trinidad and so on. Listen to it. The Caribbean Man, My Black Stallion.
You try with a federation, the whole thing end in confusion. CARICOM and then CARIFTA, but somehow a spelling disaster. Mr. West Indian politician, I mean you went to a big institution, and how come you can't unite 7 million? When a West Indian unity, I know it's very easy. If you only rap to your people and tell them like me, them is one race, the Caribbean man, from the same place, the Caribbean man, that make the same trip, the Caribbean man, on the same ship, the Caribbean man. So we must push one common intention, it's for a better life in the region, for we woman and we children. That must be the ambition of the Caribbean man, the Caribbean man, the Caribbean man. You say that the Federation was imported quite from England, and you're going and form a CARIFTA with a true West Indian flavor. But since CARIFTA started running, morning, noon and night all are hearing, it's just money speech them Prime Minister giving. But I say no set of money could form a unity. First of all your people need their identity like one race, from the same place, that make the same trip, on the same ship. So we must push one common intention, it's for a better life in the region, for we woman and we children. That must be the ambition of the Caribbean man, the Caribbean man, the Caribbean man. CARICOM is wasting time, the whole Caribbean gone blind. If we don't know from where we come in, then we can't plan where we go in. That's why some want to be communists, brother, some want to be socialists, and one set a religion to add to the foolishness. Look, a man who don't know his history can't form no unity. How could a man who don't know his roots form his own ideology like one race, from the same place, that make the same trip, on the same ship? So we must push one common intention, it's for a better life in the region, for we woman and we children. That must be the ambition of the Caribbean man, the Caribbean man, the Caribbean man. The Federation done dead, and CARIFTA going to bed. But the cult of the Rastafarian spreading through the Caribbean. It have Rastas now in Grenada, it have Rastas now in St. Lucia. But to run CARIFTA, yes, you getting pressure. If the Rastafari movement spreading and CARIFTA dying slow, then it's something them Rastas on that them politicians don't know, that there's one race from the same place that make the same trip on the same ship. So they pushing one common intention, is for a better life in the region, for the woman and their children. That must be the ambition of the Caribbean man, the Caribbean man, the Caribbean man.
Nice. Give thanks to Caribbean man. Very, very good. Very, very good. Yes. Yes. Greetings, Ross Michael.
Yes, greetings, Ross Miguel. Yes, man.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Great to have you, Ross Michael. Now, on Sunday, you're one of the guest speakers for the event which will be taking place in honor of Leonard Howell, and that honor will take place at House of Dread.
House of Dread. At 4 o'clock. Yes, 4 o'clock. We'll be having a gathering to discuss the significance of Leonard Howell to the Rastafari movement and related matters. So that is myself, Sister Kathy Howell, the youngest daughter of Leonard Howell, Brother Jelani and Kalamari Knife.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a panel of us, to kick off the conversation on Leonard Howell. And then after that, we'll have some roots and culture selections by several selectors, musical selections.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, roots reggae, Rastafari reggae kind of thing. And a few artists really passing through,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, the artists like Fred Lux and Natty Pablo, Aisha Bell and Carbon, the roots conscious artists, History Man,
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the lineup for the afternoon on Father's Day, Sunday the 16th.
And I just said at 3 Dinner Road, right behind Country Farmhouse, at House of Dread, 3 Dinner Road. That will be at 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, that's House of Dread. But let me also let you know, Ross Miguel, that the LPH Foundation will also be programming at Pinnacle now in the morning of Sunday, this June 16th, commemorative event for Leonard Howell. But it's with Rastafari drumming and a gathering a little bit more informal than the one at House of Dread, I should say, but Rastafari drumming and featuring the Howlites, which is very important, and and those who want to commemorate the day over at Pinnacle. That's when we'll be gathered there. Yeah,
up at Pinnacle in St. Catherine.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, man. The very place where Leonard Howell founded the first Rastafari village,
Mm-hmm.
Right there in the heights of Pinnacle. So I mean it's fitting, and I think also very importantly, I should share with the LPH Foundation feel that amongst the many atrocities committed against the Rastafari movement, that we must also really be sensitive to the plight of the Howlites, that they suffered in and of themselves. So the followers of Leonard Howell suffered because they went from a life of self-sufficiency, from a economically sustained society, community of several thousand people living there, and then when they had the ganja raid in 1954, not only were the ganja crops destroyed, but the food crops were destroyed, livestock dispersed, and very importantly, the cottages that people lived in, their dwellings were burned down. So, you know, in many cases, some people, you know, had money stashed under the mattress and stuff. All that burned up, gone in smoke. So people went from a life of comfort to destitution. Some in Tregear Park, but spread all over the island. Some went to Kingston. But what's happening, and I want the nation to know, we have generational poverty now among some of the whole lives, you know. And the mental trauma of that eviction from Pinnacle, you know, cannot be underestimated. So there is right now a petition of sorts, proposal for some sort of reparations to be made for whole lives for what happened to Pinnacle, in the late 1950s. Actually, there were 3 raids, you know. You had the major one was 1954, the ganja raid, and then you had one in 56 and one in 58. These were like eviction raids to try and get rid of anyone else who was still on this land space, you know.
Hold on. So you're saying that a petition is now being prepared to present to the government?
Yes. To address the plight of the Howlites and what they suffered, you know. First hand suffered with the destruction of because this was like a town, you know, in and of itself. Host Miguel. You had about 4,000 people living there. So it was not only a small thing, it was like a town in itself. Fully sustained. Yeah, I mean, because they had crops they could eat, you know, they had crops, they had livestock, they had the ganja, which was a cash crop, you know, and they had a well. And just to show you how entrenched they were, there were several cemeteries, not just small family plots, but cemeteries. And unfortunately, with the development that has happened over there now, some of those cemeteries actually have been disturbed, you know, with bones just scattered and so forth. You know, you have 3 cemeteries. But what I'm saying is I want people to get a sense that these weren't people just cutting on the land like squatters or whatever. They had come to live and expected to live out their lives at Pinnacle and have their generations live out their lives, you know?
So in the morning of the 16th, that's this Sunday, at about what time you'll be gathering at Pinnacle? 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock. So the public is invited. In other words, Pinnacle is near to where Sligoville is. Yes. If you're going on the road and you're going up to little before you reach Sligoville.
Exactly. And the thinking is that Leonard Howe chose that spot deliberately because he knew the symbolism of Sligoville, the first free village, if you like, came up in Sligoville for the ex-enslaved slaves. They put together their monies and formed a place, Freetown, you know, in Sligoville, you know. So my thought is, and other people share the sentiments, that Leonard Howe was inspired by this, and he said, well, why not have, I mean, he was thinking about formulating an independent Rastafari settlement, but he said, let me do it in the area of Sligoville or in that vicinity, you know, sort of an inspiration from Freetown. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I see the connection.
Yes.
Freetown to Pinnacle.
He chose that. I mean, he chose it because it's up on a pinnacle, and great view and so forth. And also, you can't just access it and so forth that easily, when you're up on the pinnacle. But yeah, I think it was strongly inspired by the ex-enslaved settlement at Freetown, and there you go.
I think when you're up there, you can see a plain land.
Yes,
you can see a plain land of Palisades. You can see Caymanas Bay.
Right.
When you're up there.
Right, yes.
And you can also see the digital light pole up at Red Hills. From there. So, it has a 360 view.
360 view.
Which would have also influenced Howell to set up his pinnacle there.
Yes, exactly. I mean, and hence the name, pinnacle itself, yeah. He chose that name, and but it was a template as well that when a group of persons come together and through a community mindset, and merging all those skills, human skills and all of this thing, that you can have a self-sufficient community. Yeah. So this wasn't a group of beggars or whatever. These are people who were living a very fruitful life, a very, relatively prosperous life. I mean, that there are stories that out of the Ganjure, when the police were searching people's premises before they burned them down, they would find 800 pounds under one mattress.
Yes.
Another case, you find 1,000 pounds. I mean, and in those times, right now, 1,000 pounds, we're talking pounds sterling, not even US dollars. Pound was a lot of money back then, you know what I mean?
Much as in 1950 odd.
Yes. I mean, you could buy several houses with them kind of money.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah, 1950s, in the early 50s, mid 50s. Yeah. So these these people weren't poor. They weren't living hand to mouth. Just want people to realize that. But it was, I think, too much to bear for the powers that be. So one way or the other, they were going to destroy that community,
And blame Leonard Howell.
Leonard Howell was always under the radar, because we know, and I heard you made mention of it when you spoke with Sister Cathy Howell last week, Dr. Leonard Howell, that, at the trial, his trial that he had in St. Thomas, and the judge, being one who was especially chosen to try Leonard Howell, and one who was very eager to prosecute him, after his time in Africa, So, he saw Leonard Howell as a insurrectionist, or someone who was trying to topple or destabilize the colonial order, and he was having none of it. So, and Leonard Howell was fearless at the time. I mean, he knew he was facing a jail sentence and so forth, but it wasn't a thing that he was, bowing to colonial powers.
And when Buster wrote to the colonial office in England, he singled out Leonard Howell.
Oh, yes. 1939, that letter to the colonial secretary. I mean, it really,
he blamed Leonard Howell
of Bustamante distaste for Rastafari, because it's historical. So, we can't be surprised that Carroll Gardens only fast forward to 63. But he saw Rastafari as a real sword, as a threat to the stability of the nation. And that was 1939. He was writing to the colonial secretary to say we need to do something about this man Leonard Ho. He's a threat to the nation. Okay, that was 1939. In 1954, it was under his administration that major ganja raid happened. Then fast forward to 63, we have Coral Garden. So he never loved Rastafari. I mean, that's just the reality. He just didn't see anything positive, in the movement. So, if we reflect and we reflect on the matter, the letter he wrote to the colonial secretary, it was just it was basically in keeping with
he said so in the letter.
All the way through, yeah.
He said so in the letter. He blamed Rastafarians, and he felt that Howell was the leader of the Rastafarians.
Yes, yes. Well, in fact, as you taught there, I'm trying to find a letter because I have one of the books here, you see, that has an article by you. But remember, we had, myself, Clinton Houghton, and Joanne and I, we had co-edited a book, Leonard Percival Hall and the Genesis of Rastafari.
Yeah, yes, I remember.
Going back to 2015, a few years ago. So we have article also here by Louis Moyse and a wide collection. But the letter is published in the book, page 113, and you've inspired me to read it. But it's written on headed paper, the BITU, Bustamante Industrial Trade Union.
Yeah, man. I would love. Hold on. I would love if you read it. I would love to read it.
So, I'm gonna read the letter, and it's headed Honorable Colonial Secretary's Office in Kingston, and he said, "Sir, serious trouble is brewing at Port Morant in St. Thomas, owing to the mischievousness of a man whose name is Howell, leader of this terrible thing that is called Rastafari." It can't be clearer than that. And he goes on to say, "This man, I understand, went to the asylum once. He subsequently went to prison for 2 years for sedition, which bordered on the line of high treason. In St. Thomas, he is endeavoring to put one group against another group, and I would not be surprised if something serious happened to him, and that a riot does not take place there because he is fomenting serious trouble. I strongly suggest that you have this matter communicated to the Inspector of Police of St. Thomas, because it would be very good for the government to receive a report from him, as he is very anxious and concerned about the existing affair. Seems to me that the only right and proper place for this man is the asylum. He is a danger to the peace of the community. I think he is the greatest danger that exists in this country today, and I believe the police can confirm this. I have the honor to be yours sincerely, Alexander Bustamante." So, he's quite clear in that letter, isn't he, about his feelings about Leonard Ho.
Yeah, man, absolutely quite clear.
It couldn't be. So, anyone says that, no love was lost in terms of the taking down of Leonard Ho in one shape or the other. And we know, I think it's fair to say Leonard Ho was probably the most persecuted Rasta man there was. He went between Bellevue and prison, there was at least 50 times. In and out of Bellevue and prison, So, he had to take on a lot of tribulations for...
And we should point out that Bellevue was used as an alternative to prison.
Right.
In other words, the system is either you're mad to be saying Rastafari is the Almighty. You must be mad. So where the evidence is not sufficient to send you to prison, then it will be sufficient to send you to Bellevue.
Exactly.
And it was a coincidence that they were virtually beside each other.
Yes.
They were virtually beside each other. So you're not going home, but you're going one or the other, either Bellevue or GP.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah, they serve the same purpose. As we know, Alexander Bedwood, unfortunately, spent his last years in Bellevue.
In Bellevue, yeah.
And they locked him up in 1921, and he ended up, dying in Bellevue in 1930. So he was there for 9 years.
Yes.
He never got to see the light of day once he was locked up. The only thing I ponder is that it was November the 8th, 1930, that he passes away. So I was wondering if he got news that His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie was crowned, earlier in the month before he passed. But, who knows? We can only speculate,
Mm-hmm.
But, yes, it was rather sad after, making such a strong influence and uplifting not just the Augustine community, but many folks, in the corporate area, but really pushing this Native Baptist movement to a certain level, bringing back a sense of African pride and so forth. So,
Bill Howell become his son, one of his sons, Bill, or what's his other son name?
Billy, talking about Billy and Monty.
Bill and Monty. Any of them will come in?
If they're coming?
Yes.
No, unfortunately, no. It's just Kathy Howell that is. Well, she's actually here in Jamaica now, but she's event. But no, Billy and Monty are still in the U.S. and they won't be flying in,
Yes. You wonder, though, that, we have seen so many other persons of less importance, let's put it that way, and they have been given tremendous accolades and honor. And yet, there's a deliberate attempt, at least it appeared deliberate to me, to try and downplay the works of Leonard Howell.
Yeah, well, 601 is a very good point. 601 half doesn't know the other, because, okay, so Leonard Howell was bestowed a national honor in 2022. In October, he gets the Order of Distinction, officer class. Now, my thing is, that's the lower rung of the national honors. Now, I would have thought that you would consider this man for national hero. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Not or with the very lowest maybe Order of Merit or one of these. You know what I mean? But basically, Order of Distinction is the lower rung. So on one hand, he's saying, okay, we recognize he did something for Jamaica.
In other words, I know about you. I saw that thing, Not so much recognize. What they're saying is that not so much. I know about you.
Yeah.
Yes, I know about you. You can't say I don't know about you, but I don't really recognize you. But I know about you. That's what that honor means.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. But at the same time, I'm going to give somebody national honors at all, by the way I read into it, you're saying, okay, you contributed something positive. But my thing is that for somebody who basically did a lot to inspire the Rastafari movement, you know, I would have expected that. To be honest with you, high honor. That's me. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, having said that, though, the positive side now is that if it's been awarded national honors, then basically we can look at some of the criminal record he has and look at the possibility of this being expunged.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's a kind of self-contradiction. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
One hand you're saying you made a strong contribution or contributions of the nation, but the other hand you've been in and out of jail and Bellevue for so much, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, a vast criminal record. You know, what are the merits of the criminal record? We had the criminal record expunged of 4 of our national heroes relatively recently, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know,
records? Marcus Garvey,
Sam Sharp, Ogle, and George William Gordon.
But you know, there was a strong school of thought that was opposed to that expungement.
Really?
Yes, it makes sense because they're saying that it is their action. It those very acts that they expunge that made them national hero. So to take away those acts is almost stripping them of their power.
All right. So my reading is different. It's like a Sam Sharp and so forth. So it was an anti-colonial move. He was, you know, basically fighting down.
No, we're not talking about the fighting.
You're saying that the
Hold on. By removing the very act which made them great, some people are saying we have now watered them down and we have taken away the greatness from them.
No, I see it differently. I see it as recognizing that the acts they committed was no a criminal but a heroic act. Mm-hmm. And therefore, with a change of administration, the administration is saying, no, what they did was right and proper and so forth. Therefore, no criminality associated with that act at all. So I have a different perspective on it, totally. In the same way that Garvey was persecuted in the U.S. on his trumped-up charge of mail fraud. Mm-hmm. I am one of those people who was strongly that he should be exonerated.
Mm-hmm.
Exonerated, not even pardoned, because I don't think what he did ever committed no criminal act at all.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just thrown out, exonerate the man, and in fact, bask in his achievements and his contributions for folk, the black community in the U.S. as well as the wider world. So I have a different read on it, Host Miguel, basically.
I'm not advocating the other side views, you know. I'm not advocating that to say my personal view. But I'm saying certainly what you have said makes sense. But say for example, in terms of Garvey now, the same set of persons are saying your system, what he did was right, but your system made him a criminal. Make that stay so that future generations can realize what you think of the great Marcus Garvey.
Well, to be honest with you, I hear what you're saying, your system and so forth, but any, I think, governmental power, whatever, who's supposedly taken over now from the colonial establishment, any well-thinking government will want to disassociate themselves from the wrongs of the colonial past.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so what I'm saying is that unless you're one of those people who openly say, yes, we've taken over now, but we uphold all of the colonial perspectives and beliefs, and we strongly uphold that, then yes. But I mean, if you're trying to at least put in a narrative out there that we're anti-colonial, we're moving toward a republic, we're going away from the monarchy and all of this sort of stuff, then obviously then it would be in line to say, in tearing down the colonial regime, we're going to expunge these records. I mean, at least to, on the face of it, give some sense of consistency. You see what I mean?
No, I fully understand. I fully understand, my sister. I fully understand. I fully understand. My brother.
Right. So everybody is with their own take. But my thing is that I genuinely see these as heroes because here's the thing. Remember, these 4 persons are celebrated as national heroes. You can't get higher than that, You can't get higher up the totem pole of being celebrated for your contribution to Jamaica, the nation, than that. So most person would say, but there's a contradiction. This person is the highest honor you can get, but he still have these criminal, I mean, anybody spot the contradiction. I mean, maybe some
no, but hold on. But the persons who think of you as so honorable that they give you the highest honor, they don't think of you as a criminal.
No, they don't think of you as a criminal. But remember, ultimately, the truth of the matter is right now, with the national honor system, the government has a huge role in determining who's going to be a national hero, don't they?
Yeah, but
governmental administrators have a huge role. No.
Hold on. But the government made them a national hero before the expungement,
Yeah, I know. We know this.
The government did not make it a qualification.
All right.
That
let me
expungement
tell you, maybe I'm too close to the whole thing or whatever. But as you know, I'm on the National Council of Recreations. Right? And at one of the meetings we had, there were several. I think it was 217 thereabouts. But Quitty said, hold on. Seems to be a contradiction here, 4 of our heroes at the highest honor, but they still have these criminal records attached to their name. And one very visible situation was a Garvey, because at the same time, we were saying, how can we be fighting and rallying for Garvey to be exonerated in the U.S., and we are sitting as though we're happy about this criminal record he has in Jamaica? It's that is clearly, contradiction.
Some people felt to a contradiction. It is a contradiction.
Yeah, it's a contradiction.
It is a contradiction,
And the next thing, the thing was discussed in Parliament, at Gordon House, and the parliamentarians, even they decided, it seems reasonable to expunge these criminal records. And in fact, as fate would have it, I remember this was October 2017 when they were having a debate, because Julius Garvey flew into the island at that time for several things to do.
Yeah, but Ras Mike, we're not saying that the deed was bad, or the deed was wrong.
Yeah.
All we are saying, it is those same deeds that make them national hero. That's all we are saying. So, hold on. We don't want the history and the records 50 years from now show them as not been not
persecuted for their heroic acts.
No, but those very same deeds. Those very same deeds. You want their name to be remembered of carrying out those very same deeds that the system said.
I agree. And let me say I agree with that. But you don't need to have the criminal records stay on the books for people to remember the heroic deeds they've done. I don't think that's a necessary statute. I mean, the fact is that another group of people come in and take power and recognize that these deeds were indeed heroic, And because they were heroic, there's no basis for them to have been prosecuted, to have been vilified for that. You know what I mean? It's like, how can I say it? No, yeah, I mean, for me, it's a contradiction anyway. There are different viewpoints that I just mind. I don't think it takes away from the actual heroism that they display. It doesn't take away, in my books, doesn't take away from their heroism to expunge a criminal record. Doesn't.
Mm. All right.
I mean,
hold on. We don't want to go. We don't want to go too far from Leonard Howell Day.
Yes.
Which is why we are here.
Yes.
All right. So we have the day Sunday. We have the morning 11 o'clock up at Pinnacle, and the afternoon 4 o'clock at House of Dread.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So all are welcome.
All are welcome, and there's no charge, no cover charge for any of those events.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, son. So we're, remembering our heroes, and we're remembering Leonard Howell on June 16th. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a natural mystic of sorts, because June 16th is generally being celebrated as Father's Day.
Yes.
And many of us see him as the father of the Rastafari movement.
He is.
Yes.
So it's very fitting.
So it's very fitting, isn't it? Father's Day is Earth Strong. It's actually 126 falls on Father's Day. So it's a mystic, natural mystic there,
Yes. So, and we should also remind the people that Leonard Howell was called the first gong.
There you go, yes.
It's called the first. Later on, Bob Marley called himself.
Bob Marley was influenced by Leonard Howell, hence Tough Gong records, Yes, so, Bob Marley knew the history of Rastafari.
Yes.
Whether through the mentorship of Mortimer Plano and otherwise,
Yes.
He was well knowledgeable about the history of the movement. Yes, man. So, as we worship and venerate the patriarchs and matriarchs, we also going to venerate Leonard Howell on his Earth Strong,
Yes.
On Sunday, June 16th.
All right, my brother. Yes. So we're encouraging people to come out and be there and join in the respect and celebration and commemoration of the father of the movement, great Leonard Howell. Thanks a lot, Ross Mike.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Ross Miguel. Yes, give thanks. And, I just want to say to the people out there to remind them that you have long been on the historical track of Leonard Howell, and you published his Promise Key, and I assume you still have copies available at the bookstore, right?
Yes.
I don't think you've run off these yet. Yeah, you have your printing press. So,
yes.
You know what I mean? You've kept the flag flying for a long time, so respect is due where it's due,
Thank you, Mike. That's Mike.
Yes, Mike.
And we'll see each other on Sunday.
Yes, give thanks.
Blessings. That's Ross Michael Barnett, a lecturer at the University of the West Indies, and he'll be one of the main speakers at the function on Sunday to honor Leonard Howell at 3 Dinner Road, House of Dread, behind Country Farmhouse. Yeah, man. Good.
Well, I come to cure their mind for them. Yes, I am. Cause it look like their mind sick, and we got to fix it. I try to tell me how when I exist. I'm making this music music for them and those. Yeah, them devils still a living and doubt. In on the mind, them a if I speculate and them a doubt. Jah is real without a doubt. Hey, I know Jah is real. Yeah, yeah. And if you can't see that, then maybe you're not real. Yeah, yeah. The sunshine and cool breeze me feel. Jah is real. Yeah, yeah. And if you can't see that, then maybe you're not real. Yeah, yeah. The sunshine and cool breeze me feel. So when me wake up in the morning, I jam me say, welcome to this beautiful life Yahweh promised me. Melchizedek order, there ain't no border. I just Yahweh and Joshua philosophy. Enough to believe in a just them a living a doubt. Call themselves a atheist, that them living without. I could never go a day without healing Yahweh. Hey, all when I famine and joy. I know Jah is real. Yeah, yeah. And if you can't see that, then maybe you're not real. Yeah, yeah. The sunshine and cool breeze me feel. Jah is real. Yeah, yeah. And if you can't see that, then maybe you're not real. Yeah, yeah. The sunshine and cool breeze me feel. Alright then, them say man come from monkey, well I lie them a tell. A corruption them a sell you, you piss and you go by hell. But making out the image of the one more greater than the angel. Them up the seven seals for them tongue to hell. Hey, that's why he must don't get tower of Babel. And burn out them false prophet because I lie them a tell. And them a lead the sheep, them for jumping at the well. The confusion they come for dispel. Okay then, a full time now, people forever note. Yahweh is the Almighty and that at the truth. Tell it to everyone because the truth them just can't die. I know Jah is real. Yeah, yeah. And if you can't see that, then maybe you're not real. Yeah, yeah. The sunshine and cool breeze me feel. Jah is real. Yeah, yeah. And if you can't see that, then maybe you're not real. Yeah, yeah. The sunshine and cool breeze me feel. Jah is real. Yeah, yeah. And if you can't see that, then maybe you're not real. Yeah, yeah. The sunshine and cool breeze me feel. Jah is real. Yeah, yeah. And if you can't see that, then maybe you're not real. Yeah, yeah. The sunshine and cool breeze me feel.
Culture with a brand new chat. Bigging up all the Nazi jet lads. Spread out yourself. And hold on upon the feet. You don't know pretty soon we have to reach Zion Gate. Here it is. Spin-a-diddy-bop, spin-a-diddy-bop. It's a little one up with the Nazi jet lads. Spin-a-diddy-bop, spin-a-diddy-bop. It's a little one up with the Nazi jet lads. And me say jet, Nazi, jet, Nazi, jet, Nazi, Congo. Roots, natty, roots, natty, Congo. Jet, natty, Congo. Roots, natty, Congo. It goes. When me was a youth, me never like home here. Every day, me mother woulda get up and swear. Come here, little girl, come make a comb out here. I woulda ball, beg shed one bag of tear. No put no chemical in a me ear. You might burn off my face and spoil my career. Me know me black man, it can't disappear. And if I saw it go, you put your one in the air. And me say, jet, natty, Congo. Roots, natty, Congo. See ya, jet, natty, Congo. Watch you now. Roots, natty, Congo. See me antenna picking up a frequency, it pick it up, yes, and then it read it to me. Now what I woulda do, dread without me natty, it not dead. Feel only beauty, circumnavigate the earth, yes, spiritually. Worldwide information coulda reach me. A face like for me, it no ordinary. No other hairstyle woulda really fit me. A picky head them used to call me. But look, you know, yes, we are long natty. Who could it be but the Almighty? Keeper of life universally. A Baba Jana, yes, feel with internationally. Start to exploit Rasta identity. Wrote them dreadlocks, but them was phony. Tried to instigate them, want to flap me. Me ear and me strength out some me beauty. Me no Jerry, but me Terry Natty and me ID. When me was a youth, me never like home here. Every day me mother woulda get up and swear. Come here little girl, come make a come out here. I woulda ball, beg shed one bag of tear. Chop, no put no chemical in a me ear. You might burn out my face and spoil me career. Me know me black a man, it can't disappear. And if I saw it go, you put your one in the ear. Spinning in the back, spinning in the back. It's a little one I'm feeding at the jet laps. And me say spinning in the back, spinning in the back. It's a little one I'm feeding at the jet laps. And me say jet not, jet not, jet not, Congo. Roots not, roots not, roots not, Congo. Jet not, jet not, jet not, Congo. Roots not, roots not, roots not, Congo. Not a press, not a perm, no one no falls here. Give me the floor, the braids and the deer. You're running from yourself if a wig you are wear. Right now me gone in a different gear. And me say swiddle bop, swiddle bop. And this a little one I'm feeding at the jet lamps. Swiddle bop, swiddle bop. This a little one I'm feeding at the jet lamps. And me say jet not, jet not, jet not, Congo. Roots not, roots not, roots not, Congo. I am bingy. Jet not, jet not, jet not, Congo. Roots not, roots not, roots not, Congo. Don't cut it. Jet not, jet not, jet not, Congo. Keep it. Roots not, roots not, roots not, Congo. Leave it. Jet not, jet not, jet not, Congo. Roots not, roots not, roots not, Congo. Rasta.
Yeah, man. Recently, yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Give thanks. Give thanks. You know what say? Saudi Arabia, what them call the Middle East. It's one of the largest countries in the world without any river. Yeah. It's a large country. Doesn't have any river at all in Saudi Arabia. So it's strictly rainwater they depend on. Wow. So countries where have river, consider yourself blessed. And so on. We need by the train. If you watch the development of all countries, the train is an integral part of development. You know, bringing in food from the country, food and people coming in. Highway is nice, but not like the train, brothers and sisters. So we have to pressure them back, put back the train. And that would certainly reduce the amount of incidents. Vehicle, I can call it collision. The amount of accidents which are taking place on the road, especially on the highways, a whole heap. Wow, really dangerous. Really dangerous. You know, people go in market, carrying food gone one way, bodies gone the next day. The driving is atrocious, man. Bring back the train, bring back the train. More security for the people. And when you talk about development, the train. Because in many areas now, the train will encourage industrialization. People go there, people gather. You know, you can develop. You got to bring back the train, brothers and sisters. over the weekend, 2 articles in the newspaper caught my eye very much. One has to do with a truck that was carrying 5 people. A weirdest accident happened again. I'm trying to picture the front of a Chapman truck involved in a deadly accident. This accident occurred on November 13th, 2023. I think 5 people died from this truck accident. But what caught my eye, strangely enough, not just because it would catch my eye, because 5 market people died. But another reason why it caught my eye is that it's a Shackman truck. Shackman, S-H-A-C-M-A-N, Shackman truck, which is supposed to be assembled in Jamaica. But the important thing now is that these trucks are supposed to be built with a black box. A black box that gives certain information. Black box, just like a plane or a black box. So, with these trucks now, it's supposed to can give you an idea what speed the driver is driving at. Yes, in Jamaica here. So I don't know what to the black box for these trucks. Because they're involved in an accident, the black box would tell us a lot of things. But they're saying now the police don't have the data to analyze the black box. Police is not equipped to deal with it. So the help that it should provide, because if it shows the speed that the driver is driving, which is what is believed is the cause of most accidents in Jamaica, speeding. And that now you'd have the scientific evidence to contradict the driver. The driver naturally not going to tell us that speed must speed. More make it clear they're driving now, well then, if they drive at 20 miles per hour when it crash. And we know nothing like that. But I thought that because if you have the technology, use it, brothers and sisters. So if the engine on the trucks, if they don't have it, please install it. But it's important to help minimize the crashes on the road. And if there is a way of instituting black box into some of these cars that I see flying on the road, please do. Yes, the black box, because apparently you can fit the black box on the engine or over the engine, and it can give you, I don't know if you can install nowadays modern technology, and probably can install one that also record the talking, But we have to do something. We can't just sit down and have our children and our people, being killed because of careless driving, or I should say the fast driving. That we have to find a way to scientifically prove that a man is speeding. Don't depend upon him word, but something to show that he was speeding at the time when he killed off these 5 people. We have to be more serious now with the suspension of license. Yes, some people must not be driving on the road. And the only way to solve it is to suspend them license. And people will come, the first time you come, you give them a chance. Second time, you a little rougher, but you give him a next chance. And by the time you quit, the year do him gone half. And you give a man over 20 chance. No. You got to suspend him for a while so that when he comes back on the road, he will know what it's like when him don't have no license. So something has to be done. I said taxi drivers demonstrating and so, but please, taxi man, suggest alternative way to the government. If you are complaining that if a man get 10 demerit points and them take away him license and him have a wife and children to take care of, I agree with that, but him supposed to know that too. Him supposed to know him have wife and children to take care of, so him can't afford to lose him license. So when him gone 4 or 5 demerit points, him supposed to drive double careful. That's the reality, brethren. So please, you can't just say you don't like it and you don't suggest alternative. You got to put an alternative argument because the whole idea is we have to cut down on this bad driving. The taxi man them too make we call a speed a speed. Because the taxi man them drive horrible, brethren, horrible. Make us be honest about it. I don't like the idea of taking away people's license. I don't like, because like I say, it's a man bread and butter. But a man must start to realize that, him can't, because when he drives badly, remember there are a lot of instances. It's not just for him carrot crashing, but he's crashing into other cars. He's causing lives. He's crashing and people are dying in the car. So, please, taxi man, I understand your cause, but the driving have to be better. You can't say because you're a taxi man in a hurry, you have to drive like that. No. Chop in front of people, swing around people. No, cut out them driving a bit of it. So, you have to take some man off the road. And when a man drives certain way, he deserves to be off the road. He deserves to be off the road. So that was one case that I saw in the newspaper of the Gleaner of last Saturday, June 8th. Because the black box in this particular accident, apparently the police don't have the mechanism to analyze the black box. And that's bad. Get it. The other case which catch my eye was an headline which says, claimant awarded 5.7 million for breach of contract, nuisance in sewage matter. Now, this man, he had sued a developer because in buying house in this development, sewage and other nuisance was spilling almost in front of him yard. Him contact the authorities when buy it from. But nothing was done. So it's years him have to suffer under that. Now, him get awarded of money. Him get, in all, 5.7 million for the breach of contract. The judge wanted more evidence with regards to the sewage. He came forward and he said the sewage was a big nuisance to him. The judge felt he should have brought more evidence than what him bring. But the whole idea is I want to congratulate that lawyer. Her name is Stephanie Williams, for bringing the case and to show that people, you can get redress. You can get damages, for things like, you buy your house in a gated community or in a community or in a development, and most of the time, we buy the house and start living in it, and you go and live in it for years. You don't even know who is the developer. And you most of the time you don't even look back on the contract or on the paper or even on the title and realize that certain obligations are due to you. You know. So when these people breach those obligations, I think like sewage is very important. You buy a house and you know what it's like for that foul smell. You have to walk over the water. Not like we say downtown, almost every day now. Certain place downtown. You see the bad sewage water coming out of that. We know all the laws against it. But you need to bring action, man. So the people are downtown are not people. They're just animals. You treat them like animals. Because the sewage water, sometimes the little children play in it. Sometimes people have to walk through it. You know? So, KSAC, I encourage people to know. But on have to do better. On have to do better. You can't have sewage run so much. I can understand it, run for a day or two, you fix it. But not fix it and by next week it run again. No. That's a bad situation. Very, very bad. So, we give thanks. Be there. Yeah, man. Nyanko.
Yes, blessings.
Yes, you want to bring in your little psychology part now.
Yeah, man.
And so on. I didn't know so much people heard the sister from Uganda.
Yeah.
Yes, that night. Quite a few people heard her. The sister was telling us about the great things of Uganda. One sister said to me, boy, I would buy a one-way ticket immediately. Go to Uganda. Why should I live in Babylon when I can live in paradise? And so on.
You just want an avenue.
Yes. I just want to say, though, that next week, one of the persons that I will have on my program next week is Bonnet Goodwalker. Goodwill I haven't had her before. And we will be talking about Juneteenth. We have always spoken about Juneteenth. It has to do with the freedom of the slaves. That they were actually freed, but it was announced. It wasn't announced until a particular time. So we'll be talking to Bonnet Goodwalker next week about Juneteenth and the freedom of black people. Nice. Go ahead, Nyanko. Your time now. Yes.
Just to touch base on what was just previously said, you see, when it comes on to Juneteenth, it's a very, very, very important, very, very important time in our history as black people, especially in America as well. So we definitely want to shed some light on some of these things so that we could help to bring that positive energy towards the enlightenment and the growth and the development of our people back to the forefront of how we think about ourselves, to know that we're much better than the situations that we're in, and we could always get better and better and better and strive for more and do settle for less. But again, this is Nyanko. Brother Lawrence, one of his sons, currently studying for a bachelor's in applied psychology at the University of UCC, and I'd written a paper related to just humans and how we relate to the environment. So it's called the Human Environment Connection, Protecting Our Positive Energy. Right? Just a short little essay on some of the things that I see when I see myself interacting with the environment, and maybe you all can relate to this as well. All right, so I go like this. As humans, we are inextricably linked to the environment in which we live, work, and thrive. Our emotions, mental well-being, and overall energy levels are profoundly shaped by the physical, social, and cultural landscapes that surround us. Understanding this profound human-environment connection is is crucial in our quest to maintain a positive outlook and safeguard our mental and emotional well-being, right? So numerous studies have demonstrated the significant impact of our environment on our emotional states. For instance, research has shown that exposure to natural settings such as parks, forests, and bodies of water can have a calming and restorative effect, reducing stress levels and promoting feelings of tranquility and connection. Conversely, environments characterized by noise pollution, crowding, and a lack of green spaces have been linked to increased anxiety, depression, and feelings of isolation. It's one of the reasons why we have a river so close to our house as well. It has done wonders for how we think, move, and thrive through the world as well at our personal location there, Pops. So continuing, numerous studies have demonstrated the significant impact of our environment on our emotional states, right? And continuing, it says here, beyond the physical environment, our social and cultural contexts also play a crucial role in shaping our environmental experiences. The quality of our interpersonal relationships, the support systems available to us, and the societal norms and values that we internalize can all contribute to our sense of belonging, self-worth, and overall emotional well-being. And of course, individuals who feel socially disconnected or marginalized often struggle with negative emotions such as loneliness, low self-esteem, and a sense of purposelessness as well. This is pretty evident when it comes on to the penal system, when it comes on to the prison system, I should say. And those individuals that get isolated from a wider circle of, environment, individuals and all of that, it can have a very damning effect on their, not just their social skills, but their ability to generate those positive, natural chemicals in themselves, like the dopamine and the endorphins, in order to feel excited and adventurous and confident about the next day that is coming, the next task, just about the next breath that they're taking. It does have an impact. When people are isolated, it does have an impact. And when people are around a more loving circle and all of that, it does have an impact as well. I think that's something that we do need to recognize as well. So let's continue. To protect our positive energy and maintain emotional resilience in the face of our ever-changing environment, it is essential to adopt a multifaceted approach. This may include prioritizing exposure to nature. So regularly engaging in outdoor activities such as taking walks, gardening, simply spending time in green spaces or just time outside can help us recharge and reconnect with the natural world, which can have a profound impact on our emotional well-being, of course. Secondly, fostering meaningful social connections. This is where we cultivate strong relationships with family, friends, and community members, which can provide a sense of belonging and support. This could also buffer against the negative emotional effects of challenging environments. In regards to that one, I remember when I was younger, I used to get taken out to, cousins and family members out in the country and different things like that, so that we could allow our energy to touch their energy out in those spaces. And it really did bring a sense of belonging into a wider sense of what the family is like and the different minds that are associated with, my mother, my father, my cousin, and all these different things. It definitely is a joy, and that is definitely something that we should strive to do more often, to visit distant family members, to just bring them closer to us, because strength is much better in numbers, as they say, right? So let's continue. All right. Another one here, advocating for positive environmental and social change. So remember, becoming involved in initiatives that aim to improve the physical and social environments in our communities can contribute to creating more nurturing and supporting surroundings for all. So even liquor parks and the places that we might see in our immediate communities and surrounding sections, we can create those spaces or help to develop those spaces so that even the younger kids, they could play in these parks, go on these small liquor rides, the swing sets, the jungle gym, and the different things like that, and really interact with the environment on you know, in a way which nature has naturally intended for us to interact with it, right? All right. So additionally as well, practicing mindfulness and self-care. I remember engaging in mindfulness practices such as meditation or deep breathing exercises can help us to become more attuned to our emotional states and better equipped to manage the impact of our environments. Additionally, prioritizing self-care activities such as getting adequate sleep, practicing stress management techniques, and engaging in hobbies can help us maintain a positive emotional balance as well. So by recognizing the profound impact of our environment on our emotional well-being and taking proactive steps to protect our positive energy, we can cultivate greater resilience, adaptability, and overall mental and emotional health. As we navigate the ever-changing landscapes of our lives, this holistic approach can help us to thrive and maintain a sense of balance, even in the face of adversity. So remember to go outside, remember to share some love with one another, remember to always try to exercise and try to touch base with nature. And nature will touch base with you too. And that's one of the best ways to generate that positive energy that will see not just us, but the next generations thrive into the future, you know, with the best foot forward. So that was my essay on human and environment connection. Thank you so much for having me. You know, and yep. You want to add something here, Pops?
No, I was listening very closely. In other words, the environment play a big role in influencing certain thinking, certain thought process.
Yeah, 100%.
You mentioned some simple things that sometimes people have around them and don't realize the deep value of them.
Yeah.
When you mention the river, lots of people in their community that take the river for granted, a space where you can go get water.
Yeah.
And think if your pipe gone up, you can get water, and so on. You know, there's a river, as you said, near to our yard.
Yeah.
And we used to, whenever there's a water shortage, we don't have a problem, because we used to go by the river, collect water. We have some drums at our home, and we just fill up the drums.
Yeah.
And get water until, as a matter of fact, it imports a discipline in us that we started because we used to get some high bills, some high
water bill, National
Water Commission, some high bill, and no matter how write them and thing, them it come like them don't know nothing about it. So now we try to avoid using National Water Commission. So we use a lot of rainwater to fill up our drums. And whenever it run out, we get a lot of water from the river. And it made us now develop a respect. Well, they develop a respect for us when them say. So when they saw the bill literally nil, literal nil, because we now try as much as possible to use water that doesn't come through the pipe.
Yeah, yep.
You see, that's one way now of really can lick your chest and feel big. So we can say, well, then we now use your water out of the pipe, and all you keep sending us those bills. I mean, at one stage, man said to me, Water Commission man said to me, boy, not even Pegasus use so much water. Not even the Pegasus Hotel use so much water that we supposed to use in a one day. And all me tell them something wrong. You know, there must be some underground leak or something. You know, And then, but when we took action, we got back result. And then we saw the bill, become reasonable. So much so that when it just bulged a little high, them same one. Correct when say it. This month you use up more water than last month, and so on. So we take certain things for granted, but it does do very well, and so on. So good for the environment, and so on. Our problem now is that we are fresh food farmers. We just grow up on our little land for ourselves and share with our friends. And more and more now we switch part. People are trying to cut a banana. Imagine. So we have got to do something about that environment now. And so on.
But nevertheless, we cut some nice banana even this last couple of days, the last couple of weeks, some nice bananas, man.
We cut some.
We have to feel very, very excited about those and even the apples them, because we definitely enjoy the apples them and the fruits of what we planted decades ago. Even before I was even a concept, or even before I was a thought, even before all of that, some of these trees were planted, and as me come up, so the tree them come up too.
Yeah.
Remember that ackee tree that was planted when Kaylee
was born.
Kaylee was born.
We actually call it Kaylee tree now.
Kaylee ackee tree, and that same ackee tree, and Kaylee 11 now, and all of that.
We get so much ackee for that tree. So the environment is great and not nicer than homegrown, brothers.
What?
Homegrown thing.
Sweet, man.
Yeah, man.
Sweet,
so
man. All the pineapple.
Yes. We'll plant some pineapples and all that. Not nicer. So please, you live in a space, even if you live in a concrete jungle, you can plant some little things in a flower spot, and you'd be amazed how them grow. How they grow and you can eat and so on. Wow. Yeah, man. Well, give thanks, Uncle.
Blessings,
so,
Pops.
At least some people hear it now will realize what them have in an environment that is so good.
Yes, man.
Because sometimes we tend to just walk past certain things and not realize the beauty of it. Well, thanks a lot, man. Well, we just see it now, people. 9:53. Time running. So we give thanks. We give thanks to all our listeners tonight. We want to thank Brother Fitzgerald Hines, the Minister of National Security in Trinidad. Yes, we want to thank him. We want to thank Host Michael Barnett for coming down and preparing us for Sunday, building us up for Sunday, and so on. And we thank you all for listening. And, thanks a lot. We're going to go out now with Sister Candace, the United States of Africa.
Ghana, Benin, Zaire, Congo, Eritrea, Mauritania, Kenya, Namibia, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Swaziland, Ethiopia, Mozambique, Chad, United States of Africa. For you I sing my song. 400 years of living in the West, we've gained experience. So now we're trotting home, no more to run. It's Exodus, and all we've learned we'll gladly share with you, my precious United States of Africa. of Africa, Abyssinia, United States of Africa, Ethiopia land, United States of Africa. Help me sing my song. From Cape to Cairo, we'll build our roads. From Addis Ababa to Sierra Leone. In Zaire and Congo, there'll be no more wars. The whole continent will be home. United States of Africa. Oh, it's been much too long. Yet when I touched your soil and felt your sun, I knew my journey was done. So now I call upon my ancestors. Please give a hand to rid our land of these pestilence. For once and for all, oh, United States of Africa, Alkebulan, United States of Africa, Abyssinia, oh, United States of Africa, Ethiopia land, United States of Africa. Help me sing my song. Nigeria, Mali, Egypt, Sudan, Cameroon, Morocco, Liberia, Niger, Libya, South Africa, Algeria, Uganda, Togo, Botswana, Tanzania. From Cape Coast to Cairo, we'll build our roads. From Addis Ababa to Sierra Leone. In Zaire and Congo, there'll be no more roads. The whole continent will be home. United States of Africa, Abyssinia, United States of Africa, Alkebulan. Oh, it's been a long, long journey. Oh, Jah knows, exiled in the West, yeah, exiled in the West. Rasta know that it's been a long, long journey. Oh yeah, Jah knows, exiled in the West, yeah, exiled in the West, yeah. Oh yeah. Sierra Leone, Zimbabwe, Ivory Coast, Somalia, Angola, Burundi, Central African Republic, Djibouti, Gabon, Guinea, Lesotho, Gambia, Madagascar, Malawi, Rwanda, Western Sahara, Senegal, Tunisia, Guinea-Bissau.